Two receivers, Cooley top of the screen against Kenneth Lyons. Red Feather to throw. Red Feather going to the end zone. It is a touchdown. Cooley, the Bulldogs have the lead.
Two to the left, one to the right. In the backfield is Streeter with one more. Hand off Streeter, gonna try to find a hole. He does. He's gonna try to break another tackle. He does. Out to the 20. He's gonna go for the pylon, and he's gonna get in to the house. Reggie Streeter with his fourth touchdown scamper of the day gives Louisiana their first lead of the day.
You might want to look at Reggie Streeter with his fourth touchdown, but watch the block here. It looked like number 59 for the Vancouver Legion here was going to have the angle on him.
On the previous play, you know, they represent the city of broad shoulders.
The player with railroads.
And the throw by Dunhill is complete to Jamal Wooding, and he scores the touchdown on the very next play. Touchdown, Atlanta.
Wow, Atlanta derails the Chicago defense on that play. He gets behind him.
Everybody let him go, and Maurice Virgil was the only one back.
Two backs and three receivers as Marconi drops to throw, and no pressure on Marconi at all. The pass is picked off, and the defender, or the receiver, fell over. That's Koyama Shigeki, and he scores. Touchdown Legends on a pick six from Marconi. And the receiver fell over as he breaks for the football. Actually, Cooley thought he had a catch and was just trying to get his feet in bounds. And the Legends.
Second down and 6. Titans down 4. Cantrell empty backfield, and Cantrell on his back foot. Touchdown! What a throw from Cody Cantrell to DR Sim. That was masterful.
I thought that for sure was going to be knocked away or picked off. Anytime you see any SFL quarterback scrambling out of the pocket, it's usually not a good sign, but DR Sim gets so wide open here that he has such a huge target there for
Step drop from Pickler over the middle. Another reception. Going.
Good
Had
pass.
a big game last week, and he's off to the races. No one can catch him. Baltimore are cruising here in the first half. Touchdown Vultures.
And we just talked about it. Johnny could not afford the mistakes. That's his second interception thrown here in his first half. Alvin Mack, I've said it time and time again, every time I call their games, he gets sideline to sideline as well as any linebacker in this league. He takes advantage of a bad situation and turns it to 6.
They'll start off with no Jared McChesney, and Josh Miller will throw. Looking top of the screen, it's picked off right into the hands of Iverson Gamble. A great start for Arizona. Gamble chasing down to the sideline, and Jeremy Mosley prevents a touchdown. What a play for Iverson Gamble, the 7th-year corner, and what a start for the Scorpions.
Second down and 10, 3 receivers. Now they go to Parker on a stretch. Haven't seen that much of the night. Breaks the tackle, and then another, and he's down at the 1. He looked into me, honestly. Let's see the replay again. Parker breaks 2 tackles. Orlando's just throwing a little bit of everything at him tonight, and he's off.
3 receiver set. William Dula in the gun. William Dula to throw, firing deep over the middle. Has a man, Jalen Miller, past the defenders, 5, touchdown, Carolina. Jeff Duffy in the chat just now saying Carolina is never out of it. Don't count them out yet. Well, there you go.
Bombs away, boys. Here it comes. Down the seam, just running to go, and no one's going to catch Jalen Miller. He's the biggest receiving threat.
And Legacy both off to the right side. And Garcia will pass. Garcia's in trouble, avoids a sack, fires deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a catch in traffic. It's a touchdown. Daniel Garcia makes an incredible play, launches it down the field to Clint Myers. And Clint Myers a little upset that Studwell's getting all the love. Over the outstretched arms of A.J. Levy, and Myers gets the touch.
Welcome to this week in the SFL. Along with Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine. His rapper name is Paulie J. And
Paulie J.
His player name is Paulie T. And he's Paul S. Paul Sarp with us here this evening. How you doing tonight, Paul?
I'm doing awesome, Cam. Again, it's Impact Monday, one of the best nights of the week. I get to be here with you in the SFL community talking about all the action that happened over the weekend. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about tonight, Cam.
Skippy wants to be next level famous. 1999 Super Chat. Good luck, Van. Can't wait to watch your boy Curtis. I can't say what she actually said because it's a family-friendly television program, but wild and crazy, Skip, on your bingo card at home. And there you go. What a great way to start the show, right, Paul?
We're starting off strong. Again, 1999 Super Chat. That's what we love to see here on Impact Monday.
We are
spectacular.
It's yeah, to keep Mike Daggs happy. Shout outs to everyone. Moose Papineau, Josh Farnsworth, Art Vandalay, Nighthawks 24. If you ever want to participate in the live chat, youtube.com/simulationfl is the way to do it for all of our next level sports supporters. Week 7, we had some duds, but we had some amazing classics, and let's get to those headlines from week number 7. Hey, not many teams can say this, Paul. 1-0 in Baltimore. That's what Fort Worth can say. They stunned the Vultures in their first trip to Sports Gamers Online Stadium, and they finished the first half of the season 4-2. They are just behind Mexico City in strength of victory. That's the current tiebreaker in the South. And we'll get to more of the standings a little later in the show. Vegas, SFL's surprise team. They're now 5-1 after a blowout victory in Canton. They lead the West thanks to a win versus Arizona. And their SOV is better than Baltimore's, so Vegas is actually in the 2 spot halfway through the season. In an Indy, Portland, Paul, instant classic. Roosevelt and Love showed up, showed out, put on a show, and the Ramblers edge the fleet, finally get their first win on the road, 1-9. What caught your attention the most, Paul, in week 7?
As far as all 3 of those headlines, all 3 are great headlines. A bunch of great teams all around. But for me, I have to go, how do you not go with Fort Worth? Going into Baltimore Sports Gamers Online Arena, beating the Vultures. It's just an incredible thing to do. Not a lot of teams have been able to say that they've done that. So I got to go with Fort Worth as the biggest headline of Week 7.
And let's get right into it as we go to Baltimore, where Fort Worth's picking off Jack Wigmore in the end zone. A scoreless first quarter. Fort Worth's defense all over Wigmore throughout the day. Pick it up in the second quarter. Marcus Dunhill back of the end zone. Stephen Hacker. So Fort Worth takes 7 off the board for Baltimore. Gets 7 on their own just before the end of the half. 7-3 Fort Worth. It's Hacker again. Right over the top of the defense. That was Loshaw who tried to get a hand on it. 14-3 Toros. This was the first sign coming up, Paul, of Baltimore starting to get the wheels turning just before the half, grabbing some points. Ivory Irvin runs over an official, and Jack Wigmore puts the chipper in. 14-6 at the half.
Great job for Baltimore to, again, only a few seconds left on the clock, get some points up before halftime. Great job by Baltimore there.
But they just could not get consistent drives going. That 3rd and 5 stop would have to have them settle for a field goal again before the pass is intercepted over the middle by Noah Regier. And it's a field goal for Fort Worth, 17-9. Fourth quarter, picked off down the sideline by Aiden Davis, who had a sensational game. And this was really the first moment that you felt like, oh no, Baltimore could actually be in some trouble. When you need a first down, go to Robert Garrett Jr., the Cowboy. That gets an Amelia Rose field goal that makes it 20-9. Baltimore under pressure on 3rd and 1. Gets sacked by Jerry D. Gond. Another Tarkington field goal would make it 20-12. Onside kick coming. The Vultures hanging on by a thread. Tarkington flips the field, and Irvin recovers, and Baltimore's got the football. The Vultures not going away easy with this recovery.
Just couldn't get the hands on the ball, and just, as anyone would tell you, get the hands on the ball, recover the ball. So Baltimore getting the ball here with a shot.
and under a minute to go, Warren Murray scores 20-18. 2-point conversion for Wigmore. No! Look to Murray. They fail to recover the onside kick after the failed 2-point conversion, and Amelia Rose from 51. Bang! Got it. 23-18 Toros. One last hurrah for Wigmore and the Vultures, and it's picked off by Ben Stone. Fort Worth 4-2. The Vultures fall to 66-7 at home, and that's where we go. Check this out. Baltimore at home, 66-7. Their worst home loss, Paul, is just 11 points back February 2nd, 2019 against Tallahassee. A 38-27 defeat, and you see the last three teams to beat Baltimore in Baltimore. Carolina, March of 21, almost 2 years Baltimore had gone without losing at home. Sioux Falls back in September of 2020, and then Queen City got the better of them in the playoffs, 27-24 back at the pandemic's beginning. You see some marks there for Baltimore, but what an accomplishment, Paul, for Fort Worth to go into Sports Gamers Online and nab a very rare victory.
To be one of 7 teams to go into Sports Gamers Online Arena and beat Baltimore, it's just a truly incredible feat to have as a franchise. And as we see here, Baltimore's not losing by a lot at home, and Fort Worth barely getting the best of Baltimore this weekend. Just a great job all around from Fort Worth. That they played an absolute perfect game.
The 18 points that Baltimore scored at home was the fewest since Sioux Falls held them to 17. This is 15 on the graphic. 20-17 back in September 21 of 2020. DJ Woods with the $10 super chat says, want to hear something wild? I lost my tooth eating Chick-fil-A. And no, I would not elaborate in the chat. See y'all later. Paul, that gets a top vote for strangest super chats of the season. I don't want to know how he lost his tooth eating at Chick-fil-A, but they're pretty good. No, not a sponsor.
Hey, DJ, where's the Chick-fil-A for the rest of us here? We're a little hungry.
Hey, if his tooth's in there, I don't want it. So, yeah, you got to be careful getting Chick-fil-A handouts from DJ Woods. Ashley Jackson caught up with Fort Worth's Stephen Hacker, who still has all his teeth.
Welcome back to PGI. And I am here with another great friend of mine, Mr. Stephen Hacker. He is owner, well, one of the co-owner, I should say. He is wide receiver, and he is coach for the Fort Worth Toros, who just had a big win over the undefeated Baltimore Vultures tonight. How do you feel right now?
Oh, Ashley, we're really pumped up. The locker room is feeling great. That was a big win for our franchise. You know, Baltimore is a well-respected team, not only by the league but by us. And to go out there and play a competitive game like that one, you know, we're on top of the moon right now. It was a great win for us. We were feeling really good going into our sims, into the practice. And so when we came out with the win, it was a great feeling. Got a lot of congratulations from the community and other coaches. So that was a great feeling. You know, it's feel like that's a game that's going to give us some respect, that we feel like, you know, we've been flying under the radar a little bit, and maybe a win like that will put us on the map of some other teams around the SFL.
Definitely will. Now, what was your thoughts, what was the locker room feeling when you saw Emily Rose hit that 51-yarder, and then you give Baltimore the ball back only for them to throw the interception right back to Vince Stone and end out the game? How did all of that?
You know, in the chat, I said, you know, Amelia's got the leg. Amelia Rose, for us, has not missed a field goal. You know, in her career, all her misses have been blocks. So as consistent as can be whenever the blocking holds up, has a 44-inch thigh, and she's got a leg and can boot it from however far, line her up, and she's going to knock it through. And she proved it again. We've got all the faith in the world in Amelia Rose, and when she goes out there, we're confident that it's 3 points.
Fantastic. Listen, you guys did a great job. One more question I have for you. What do you say to people that still feel Fort Worth is a bit underrated? You know,
I think that's just the status quo. I mean, if teams want to underrate us, that's fine. If you don't want to give us respect or pay attention to us, well, when you play us, we're going to make you respect us. We always embrace challenges. I'll give Alamo City the credit where credit's due. That's one team that we played 8 times now and have not beat them. And you best believe every time they're on the schedule, that's a game we circle now. That's something we look for. DC earlier this season, all respect to DC, a team we hold in high regard. But they were 7-0 in the state of Texas, and you better believe we circled that game. That was a game that meant a lot to us, and we wanted to win it. And when we did, it was a great feeling for our team because they own Texas, is what they were saying. So not around here. We're going to go out and get that win, and we did so. So same thing with Baltimore. It's really easy with Baltimore. They have such a good track record. It's really easy to say, oh well, they beat everybody, so let's go beat them, and we can prove that we can beat everybody, right? That was kind of the what we wanted this week, and really, really happy to get that one, man. I just can't say that enough.
Well, good job, Coach. You did your thing. He definitely had a better game plan at the end of the day to get the accomplishment that you deserved. So I wish you guys the best of luck for the rest of the season, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to be doing for the next game as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley.
Very welcome. Cam, Paulie, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. And Curtis of the 199 Super Chat, who said our plumber could be on screen. I think Curtis is just jealous of the stash. I know. I don't think
sure.
Paul and I, we're not stash people. We can't pull that off. I don't think Curtis can either.
I got a little bit, but again, Stephen Hacker, huge credit to Fort Worth, Stephen Hacker, and Stephen Hacker's mustache. As soon as Baltimore saw that mustache, I know they felt intimidated.
Putting the fear in opponents since 2018. And I like what he said. Paul, about circling opponents, and now maybe Fort Worth becomes an opponent that or a team that opponents circle. Is saying, look, these guys can beat Baltimore. That means they can beat anyone, including us. We got to bring our A game because they're going to come to play. And it really is interesting, Paul, the league all about matchups. They haven't beat Alamo City a single time ever, but yet they just went to Baltimore and won.
Just a huge game, like Stephen Hacker said, huge for the franchise to give them the confidence that, hey, we truly can beat anyone in this league. So I think the Fort Worth Toros opened a lot of eyes around the league that, hey, they are here and they beat Baltimore. They're a real contender for season 20 SFL championship title.
The Super Chats are rolling tonight, and the storylines are rolling. Let's get to some of the top offenses in the SFL and see how they did this week. Actually, no, you know what? We're going to go to the epic battle in Portland, where the top passing offense of Indianapolis is getting going, but Kanye Rockefeller is out of here on the kickoff. His second return touchdown of the season, and Indy goes up 14-7. Ezekiel Love right back. Very next play. Oh, he's gone. And we're tied at 14 late in the first quarter. Indy's top passing offense led by Ryan Roosevelt, Jeff Banfield, and boy, would they have a day. Of course, Colin Pierce at quarterback. Start of the second quarter, first play of the second. Caught. Touchdown, Banfield. He would see more out of that back corner of the end zone later in the highlight. 21-14. How would Cyrus Jive respond? Touchdown. Gavin Bouvette were tied 21 apiece late or mid second quarter. Very next play for Indianapolis. Colin Pierce's pass is intercepted, very underthrown. Chris Stock on the return. And this was the first time any team really felt like they had an ounce of momentum as both teams continue to fight back and forth. Ezekiel Love, stop and start. Oh, juke inside. Put face to the grass. They're inside the 1 yard line, and then Jive, well, who else would you give it to? Ezekiel Love for the score. 38 carries in this game for over 200 yards. 28-21. Portland on top. Indy responds. Ryan Roosevelt, touchdown on the late hit just before the half. We're all square. 28-28. Indianapolis 0-9 on the road in franchise history, trying to make something happen. Colin Pierce is picked off. It would turn out to be a blessing in disguise. Brody Gulch with the interception, but Ezekiel Love is wrapped up by Chris Britton for a safety. The first non-touchdown score of the game, 30-28. Watch this, Paul. Jeff Banfield back in the end zone. Ruled an incomplete pass, but check the replay. Challenge from Wiseman. Indy going to get another score.
Great challenge from Indianapolis there. That looked like a beautiful throw there by Pierce to, was it Banfield?
Yeah, watch this.
Beautiful throw there. Wow, one-handed grab. What a camera angle on that one.
And got 2 feet in. Under 2 minutes to go, 37-35. Pass to Benjamin Warner is caught just past the goal line, and Portland takes the lead 42-37. Here's another look at it. Warner running an out route just beyond the goal line, and yeah, that's a touchdown. Another close call. 50 seconds to go. Colin Pierce hit as he threw the pass, caught by Ryan Roosevelt, and Indy goes up 43-42. The 2-point conversion fails. Portland with 9 seconds left on 4th and 10. One last shot to get a first down, and Cyrus Jive is sacked. Indy wins 43-42, and the top passing offense gets a win. They go to 3-3. One last look at Portland losing their lead in the Pacific. Now, the top rushing offense in the SFL, that's Denver. In a 7-7 game in the second quarter, they cannot prevent Scar Patterson from hitting Benji Matson for the score. Patterson 3 touchdowns, no picks in this game. Then he finds Matson again for the touchdown. 21-7 San Diego. They had no hangover from their tough loss to Canton last week. Look at the big man trying to catch Bailey O'Shaughnessy. That's not going to work. O'Shaughnessy with the touchdown at the end of the first half bell makes it 21-14. Patterson sacked in the backfield to force a 3rd down and 25 here in the third quarter. And then Denver's defense gets yet another sack. 3 straight sacks after O'Shaughnessy got the touchdown. But this was the story of the game, Paul, as San Diego wraps up O'Shaughnessy in the backfield for a loss. Just 11 yards on 12 carries for O'Shaughnessy outside the touchdown run. Matson scores again, makes it 28-17 Mavericks. And then Struthers is picked off by Stuart Zomilia. Clean slate for San Diego on this day, Paul.
San Diego's just playing incredible to come into this game and focus on Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Like you said, only other than that long run from O'Shaughnessy, to hold Bailey to only 11 yards on 9 carries, it's just an incredible feat from San Diego. And their offense is rolling as well, just putting points up on the board.
Sudo Nakai got a touchdown on the opening drive for the 2nd week in a row, and Nakai here is going to try to finish off the Nightwings, who are a pretty good 2-4 team. If I do say so myself, Paul, they've been in pretty much every game this season, but that's the backup to Nakai sniping a touchdown from all the SFL fantasy players. Trickle gets the score, 35-17. Less than 5 minutes to go, but Denver's not giving up. Logan Keel is wide open for the touchdown, 35-24. Put a little bit of pressure. Division games are different, Paul. They just never let up.
Never. When these teams have to play each other every season, you got to love a good divisional game, a little rivalry in the SFL. And as we see here in these highlights, these teams were battling until the last second.
Struthers sacked by Biff Markham, and San Diego takes the cake, 35-24. They improve to 4-2 on the season. From teams at the top with passing and rushing offenses to teams at the bottom, that's Queen City. They lose 34-17 on Saturday. But it's crazy, Paul. John Lakeman, no picks, 29 of 41, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, and they lost Jet 0 early in the game, yet he still played so well. Powell with both those touchdowns, 109 yards, but look at that stat from the backup running back, 20 carries, -1 yard for Queen City's backup, and they just didn't stand a chance. Pickler had an efficient day. Merrill was excellent. Vin Calia was all over the place. And London's been in a bunch of blowouts to start this season. They're now 3-3.
London playing great, and as you said, John Lakeman, he played a great game, but when your running back goes down early and you essentially become a one-dimensional offense, it's just going to be hard to come back and go up against a tough London Knights team and try to come back from that.
They're not the only team at the bottom of the standings. Let's check in on Atlanta and Los Angeles from this weekend. Bryant Dynasty to Siege Falco. with the score. Atlanta looked to make this a rout early. LA did hold their own, 10-0 in the second quarter. The 5-0 Swarm, now trying to remain the only unbeaten team, gets a punt block from Don Fletcher, who also had a pick in this game. He was just all over the field, and Atlanta was off and running. 2 plays later, handoff to BDG Hollywood, doing Hollywood things inside the 30 down to the 26-yard line. LA at this point still being shut out. 14.5-point dogs at home, the winless Lichens. Hollywood takes another handoff. This dude is so tough to stop. Gets it down to the 16-yard line, and Bryant Dynasty finishes the drive off with a touchdown to Falco. Just kidding, down to the 2. It's a tight end instead with the score for Bryant Dynasty in the Swarm. They'll go up 17-0. Look, I was wrong again. Hollywood with the touchdown. 17-0 Atlanta. Hey, you know, they don't pay me by the highlight as Atlanta takes a 17-0 lead. This though, Paul, is where the game seemingly felt like it was Atlanta's night. End of the third quarter, Jack Flash is hurt, resulting in a 4th and 1. Logan Jack is actually going to convert the first down, but with the injury to Jack Flash, I said Logan Jack was hurt. With the injury to Jack Flash, only 7 yards after that 4th down conversion, and then Sid O'Lindy's field goal was stoinked.
Kind of the story of the season for Los Angeles. Just unfortunate that the field goal hit. You hear the boom across the world there, hitting that post there, and kind of, like I said, just the story of Los Angeles' season so far.
Hey, here it is. Someone's going to write me a better script. Jamal Wooding with that touchdown I was talking about. And Atlanta put a wrap on it, 24-10. They improved to 6-0. LA goes to 0-6. Now we get to hear what LA's Sully Richardson has to say about their difficult season to start.
Welcome back to PGI. And I am here with a good friend of mine, Mr. Sully Richardson. He is the quarterback, as well as owner, as well as defensive coach for the LA Lichens. Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored, and my emotions are like this doggy right here. So, yes, like that doggy right there. But other than that, I'm good.
Oh man, I do feel you. I do understand, but I do have a question for you. You know, it's Impact Monday, and I want to know, what do you think LA has to do in order to get over this hump? You guys are looking for your first win. I know you guys are trying hard in the lab to get things done. So what changed, and what do you think you have to do to get over that?
Well, this is Ryan Yosef's first official season as being the OC. A lot of people, if you follow our history, it's been like since season 16 and season 17. I'll just give you a quick history. Season 16, Ramen was the offensive coordinator. Then he got injured, so then Yosef had to step in. So like the formula whatnot, Yosef never did anything like that before. So season 17, the Dollar General, Mr. Clean, was hired as the offensive coordinator. We talked about that before, and he was the infamous 2-1. So he relieved himself of his duties and basically moonwalked out like a thief in the night. And Ryan Yosef once again was thrust into the OC position. We made the playoffs again. Season 17, hold on, that was season 16, 17. Season 18, what happened season 18, it's a blur. Because I switched up the defense from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Hell, I forgot what happened in season 18. I forgot. It's like, let's just say, like, after we made the playoffs 2 seasons straight, we've gradually been going down. Season 19, we were close. I felt like we could have beat Baltimore. There were like many teams that it was like fourth quarter we were getting it in, and then all of a sudden we just sputtered. So really, like this season, the only difference, Tommy Rahman went from fullback to tight end 2. We got a new linebacker and a rookie defensive tackle that we drafted in the number 2 pick of the draft. So it really hasn't been like a big difference or whatnot. Like, we had a strategy. We play tested during the off season. We felt good about everything that was going on. And I'll say this, like in our play testing and our scrimmages, our sims and whatnot, we look magnificent. We scout and we do everything. But when game day comes, we look like we ain't worth a silver nickel. So I don't know. Like, I guess we just keep on chopping at the bit. That's it. Like, we can't give up. We just got to keep on doing what we do. And hopefully we can get a W somehow.
Indeed, man. I believe in what you got going on. I believe in your coaching abilities. I've seen you guys do well. It's just a learning curve for everybody. And I think that you guys will overcome it, and you'll be fine eventually. So I wish you the best of luck, Sully. I wish your whole team the best of luck. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys add some wins to your column, okay?
Oh, me too. And thank you.
Anytime. Cam, Polly, back to you.
Thank you, Ashley. And a great interview there with Sully Richardson. DJ in the chat says, Sully seems like a nice dude. I hope LA gets the win. And, it's these people behind the players, behind these coaches that really hit you. And by the way, Ashley is an MVP for censoring the background there of Sully's. Thank you for not making me have to do extra work today. But it was interesting how he kind of broke down the history of this Lichens franchise and going back to the days of the Chicago franchise. Paul, it seems to me like LA's downfall is just that they just can't get any consistency in the coaching realm, in the front office realm. They've had all the same people, but everyone's playing in all these different roles. Everybody's got all these different things that they've been doing, and they just need to settle down and settle into and get into a rhythm. And unfortunately, they don't get a rhythm in season 21 either, as the league transitions to its own game. It's kind of crazy when you look back on it. Just how things have kind of taken a turn for the worse for the Lichens.
Sure, and just like the Lichens, there's another historic franchise that's tied with them down at the bottom of the leaderboard at 0-6, the Queen City Corsairs. And the Corsairs, they've set sail to Ocean, searching for the 20th time for an SFL championship. And to me personally, I just believe that also, along with the Lichens, due to consistency with them, it also ties into the fact that the level of competition in the SFL has just grown substantially over the past 10 years, Cam. And just the front offices all around the league, everyone's putting the time in, and no win is guaranteed anymore in the SFL, no matter who you're playing. So to me personally, it's just the quality of the front offices around the SFL has been the ultimate downfall, so to speak, for the Lichens and also the Queen City Corsairs.
Yeah, Queen City's an interesting one because LA's had excellent retention. They just have not been able to find stability in their front office. Queen City has kind of faced the opposite problem. They've had some stability there for a while with Tom Walsh, Eric Barkley, but they just have not been able to retain their staff, their player personnel, so they're constantly having to rebuild. They are a young squad that's 0-6. LA is an older squad that's 0-6. So it's really interesting to see those dynamics. Now, on the total flip side of the standings, you've got Atlanta, who now stands alone as the only unbeaten team at 6-0. They are in the number one spot. They control their own destiny. Wasn't the best showing out of them in this game. and wasn't the best showing out of me in the highlights either. But Atlanta still got it done, and they're 6-0 and have super high hopes for this season. Would you consider them the favorites just yet? What do they have to do to become the favorites in your mind?
I mean, at this point in time, it's hard to say that they can't be a favorite, but there's still a bunch of good teams in the league, so it's hard to pinpoint the exact favorite in the league. But how do you argue against the 6-0 start? And from what I've seen this season, the Atlanta Swarm have definitely been the most electric team so far in season 20.
Ashley Jackson caught up with the owner of the Atlanta Swarm, Mark Chisholm, for the first time this season to talk about this hot start.
Welcome back to PGI. And I am here with another good friend of mine, Mr. Mark Chisholm. He is the owner of the Atlanta Swarm, who is on a hot streak right now, has not lost a game all season. How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Ash?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, anytime, brother. Anytime. Glad you can make it. So you guys are sitting at 6-0 now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And the last time I think you guys had such a strong start, you wound up winning the championship that same season.
Season 14.
Yeah. So what has changed with you guys since season 14 until now that gives you such a strong showing this season? I mean, you guys have been doing great.
We just went through normal growing pains like a franchise can go through when they lose players. When Marcus retired to go help the league out, he was a gold quarterback with 4 or 5 animations. So we had to go through a rebuilding phase with Dynasty. He came out the minors as a bronze. So that's a growing process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a learning process as a coach also, because the same throws that Marcus could make, Dynasty couldn't. So I had to flip the playbook, change it, go through that process of seeing what does work, what doesn't. And now we're back to a level where he can do what I'm used to doing.
Okay. What made you hire Joshua Williams as your defensive coach?
I've been riding with Josh since season 14. Swole is a dude who's been putting in the work to learn. And I tried to bring him on as a defensive coordinator 2 seasons ago. I felt he was ready. I've seen his growth. Look what he's done with the Adams and the minors, 3 or 4-time champion now. So, I mean, he's been ready to be up here with the big boys, and it's showing and proving this season.
I love it. Last question for you. Do you think that your undefeated season will last all season long until you get to the playoffs and maybe even beyond?
I mean, I don't know. We don't look at it like that. We look at it week to week. We go one game at a time. We respect everybody on the other side of that field the same way, no matter what their record is, because we know any given day we can come up with that L. So this week we went 1-0. We were able to beat LA, outlast them, but next week is another test in Portland. So hopefully we can get that 1-0 victory also.
All right then, brother. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Good luck to you for the rest of the season. I mean, of course, unless you're playing the Scorpions, but
okay.
It's good to see that you guys are back, back in the limelight.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime. Cam, Paulie, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. And boy, an Atlanta-Arizona playoff game would be absolutely epic. That's a big rivalry of the Bugs there between the Swarm and the Scorpions. But I like what Mark said to put in perspective the franchise after Marcus Dunhill, because they never went out and got a big free agent signing acquired quarterback. They built through the draft and have been building dynasty up over the years and building their coaching staff up as well. Like he said, the 3-time champion Adams are led by some of his staff. And, it's all sort of coming together here in season 20 for them right now.
Absolutely. And huge credit to everyone in the Atlanta Swarm organization. 6-0 is no easy task in the SFL. And to be sitting in the situation that they're in right now, headed into the second half of the season, is just there. I'm sure they're all feeling great about the remainder of the season and looking forward to the playoffs. And hopefully everyone in Atlanta, the fans in Atlanta, are all hoping to be holding the trophy at the end of the season.
Don't be sleeping on Atlanta. Don't be sleeping on Carolina either. Back to the highlights as Houston is in Carolina for this one, and Hattori Hanzo is off and running, gets the first touchdown of the night, 7-3, but it was more about this lady, Ike McBride. Watch this run. Man, put somebody in the dirt and is out of there. Desperately trying to catch up to Ike, and no one could. The score is for 7, Carolina 14-6. Third quarter, GP Wells getting it going. Trevon Prasad can't make the tackle, and Houston's up 14-12. Would go for 2, chasing the points early. Saw Baltimore fail on a 2-point conversion earlier in the show, but this time GP Wells has just enough space to squeeze it, and we're all tied at 14. Carolina getting the football back after a 3-minute drive. Thumps it all the way down the field, and that's about the easiest touchdown you'll see in the SFL. One more time, Ike McBride, they just can't stop her in the red zone. 28-17, Carolina rolling, under 5 to go. Matt South fires down the field, picked off by Josh Rowe. He also forced a fumble on Hanzo in this game, and Houston's defense, despite a tough season, Paul, they just keep themselves in the game every week.
Yeah, when you have superstars on your defense for Houston, I know your record might not show how good your defense is, but huge credit to Houston's defense as they've helped Houston stay in games all season long.
Dave Burr deep down the field, pass caught by DR Sim down to the 25-yard line, under 5 to go, so Houston is scrambling. Burr trying to get the offense moving, which actually he did a pretty good job of most of the night as Sim makes another catch down to the 1-yard line. 2 plays later, it's Mike St. Green with the acrobatic catch, and Houston's right back in this thing, 28-24. The Headhunters offense pretty balanced, much improved from the week prior, but Burr's pass on the last drive picked up by Danny Stinson. It's a big man touchdown. The linebacker with a pick 6. Burr gets blocked out, and Carolina puts the finishing touches on it. Man, what a great play. He'll never forget that.
We love seeing the big man go up and get that interception and take it back to the house, putting points up and putting the nail in the coffin.
Danny Stinson gets Carolina to 4-2. What a start for the Skyhawks. Houston falls to 1-5 after things looked so promising the previous season, 35-23. Now to Sioux Falls, where Seattle got off to a really hot start. Trellis Blanton to Zach Patton with the score, 16-10. We picked things up in the third, and this is when things started to go haywire for the nemesis is Noe Terrasis, all alone on the play fake, 23-10 Sioux Falls. This was a reversal of the third quarter fortunes for the Sparrows from last week in our Impact Monday game against Atlanta. Seattle throws a pick. John Barnhart with the interception on the nemesis next series. Too much Jason Williams in the second half. You got front row seat to this one, Paul.
I did have front row seats to it, and boy, do I wish that we had a third quarter from Sioux Falls similar to the last Impact Monday Night Spectacular with Cam and Paul, as Mike Daggs enters the chat. And wow, man, Sioux Falls really turned it on in the second half, and there was just no answers for the Seattle Nemesis against the Sioux Falls team.
Okay, Marion, another big night. Seattle didn't give up. It was Zach Patton with the score. Made it a 2-score game. I mean, there's still 7 minutes to go. At this point, it's still a 16-point game. Seattle's hanging around, just couldn't get off the field. Jason Williams with another score, and Sioux Falls takes the win 40-24. More blowouts this week. Let's go to Jacksonville, where Tulsa put up a 50-burger, set a franchise record for points in a game. They were all over the Kings early and often as O.J. Bruin, after heavy scrutiny from last week's 7 interceptions, threw a pick on his first play. Marco Swift had 4 of them, including a pick 6. And Douglas Brown, 28 carries, 167 yards, and 4 scores as well. I thought this was interesting, Paul. You don't often see a quarterback stat line in the SFL with no touchdowns or no interceptions, and that was JQ, just very efficient on the day. Bruin ended up throwing 5, but he did throw for 332 yards. And Sean Sanders, 150 yards and a touchdown. They really have something in this back. Jacksonville's offense just didn't play that bad, but, man, the Kings going downhill fast after starting 2-0.
Yeah, it's a tough game for the Kings after a 7-interception performance from O.J. Bruin. Tried to kind of turn the tides. They did get 31 points on the board, but when you got Marco Swift on the other side getting 4 interceptions, one of them for a touchdown, your running back Douglas Brown has 4 touchdowns, and you have 50 points, it's tough to win a game when your defense is allowing 50 points.
Tulsa's now 4-2, if you can believe it, Paul. They're almost out of the playoffs. If the standings, if the season ended today, we'll get to more of the standings in a moment. They are just behind Minnesota in the division, thanks to the Legends' better divisional record. On Saturday, Vegas stomped Canton 34-9, and kind of a shocker after Canton beat San Diego the week before 16-13. Vegas now 5-1 in the second spot in the SFL, thanks to Mason Kirby's 144 yards and a touchdown. Merrick Itera had a pick 6 late, and it's worth noting that Vegas's best regular season in SFL history is 7-5. They are now 5-1. They are rolling, the surprise of the SFL this year.
Las Vegas has been doing an incredible job all season long. I've had Las Vegas on my radar for a few seasons now. They're one of those teams that they'll take the gamble, and they're a high-firing offense. Their defense this season has shown a few weak spots. So if they can figure out those gaps within the defense, I believe the Las Vegas hype is real, and I think they're going to definitely be a team to watch out for the remainder of the season.
Jackson caught up with Vegas owner John Bond for the first time this season on his 5-1 start.
Welcome back to PGI. And I have a good friend of mine here with me, Mr. John Bond. He is the head coach and owner of the Las Vegas Fury. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great.
Hey, that's good to hear. I know you are winning 34-9 over Canton. That was a big win for you guys.
It sure was.
So what do you think the secret to your success is at this point? Because you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. You are the one that is basically coaching both sides of the ball. So what is the secret to your success right now?
Really just over time building up the right plays on both sides of the ball over the years. And you know, there's the thing that you think works, and maybe it's got you so far, but then at some point you build up enough knowledge that you can put the right stuff together to make it happen, like some of the top teams.
Okay. Is there a team that you're looking forward to playing on for the rest of your season?
We're looking forward to playing. I'd say we always look forward to playing Denver.
Okay.
The promo videos for that Jeremy always puts together are always great.
Definitely. Vice Wars. Love it. Okay. Gotcha. And last question for you. What kind of enchantment have you put on Silver State Stadium so that the Arizona Scorpions cannot win a game there?
I just think the house always wins, so it's just hard to win in Vegas. So we've always been a team that can somehow pull off whatever we need to make happens to help us win those games at home.
Okay, well, good job, Coach. You have been doing an absolutely amazing job. Keep up the hard work, the good work, and we'll be seeing you very soon, okay?
All right, thanks a lot.
Very welcome. Cam, Polly, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. Paul, I think John threw a little shade there at Arizona because Arizona's on the schedule week 14 again, and she's like, "Hey, who you most excited to be playing coming up the rest of the season?" Denver. Next question. And Baltimore's on the schedule too. John Bond. He's one of the originals. A smaller staff in Vegas, but he's crushing it right now.
Doing an absolutely amazing job this season on both sides of the ball, and you got to give credit to Ashley for trying to get a little inside info. Again, Arizona hasn't beaten Las Vegas in Las Vegas, so maybe trying to get a little bit of information to help them out. Both sides, great teams, great franchises, great organizations, great people.
Now, Paul, we've done this. We're almost to the end of the show, and forgetting somebody. Who did we write off too early? Who is it? Can't remember.
Is it the Florida Storm?
Oh yeah, it's the Florida Storm. Florida hosting Minnesota in the Next Level Sports Saturday Showcase. And Ron Haynes has his first career touchdown to end the half, 13-3. We picked things up in the third quarter. Florida was 0-4. Everybody called them dead. They're alive. But Ron Cochran throws a pick to Johnny Bravo, and it was in this moment where you felt like, maybe we should pull the plug on this season. Bravo with the pick, and Minnesota going to strike back. Buchanan Simons, deep shot down the field with a diving catch. Pretty ball.
Beautiful catch by Simon there. Just to dive out and go out and get it. Your quarterback's putting faith in you to put your body out there on the line and catch the ball, bring the ball down, move the chains. Just a great throw, great catch.
That was his first catch of the game, and he would get the touchdown for his efforts. Watch top of the screen, run a little post inside, tough catch. Buchanan Simons scores 13-10, middle of the third quarter. Minnesota trying to sniff 5-1 at the top of the standings. 16-10 start of the fourth quarter, and it's a Stephen Bush touchdown right through the hands of the defense. Bush puts Florida up 12.
There's the Ron Cochran we all know and love, the Hall of Fame quarterback, getting it done there on that play. Beautiful throw in a perfect spot for Bush to go up and catch that ball and put 7 points on the board for Florida.
Chris Komisak just across the goal line gets the score, 23-17, 6.5 to go. Minnesota hanging in there. 40 seconds left. 4th and 11. The legend trying to stay alive. 6.5-point favorites in this one, and Simons with another catch all the way down to the 20 to the 14-yard line. Razor thin margins in the SFL. Simons 4 catches, 89 yards, 3 of them on this highlight reel. 26 seconds left, 4 wide. Reno's pass is intercepted by Evan Carroll, and the Florida Storm now have their second win in a row. So here's where the standings stand. This will be the last time you'll see this graphic broken down by division leaders. Starting next week, you'll have your top 4 teams on bye on the left, and then your 5 through 12 seeds on the right. So you can expect that next week. But here's a look at it from a division leader perspective. Atlanta is your lone 6-0 and unbeaten team. Vegas is 5-1. They have a SOV tiebreaker over Baltimore at the moment, and they have a head-to-head tiebreaker over Arizona at the moment. Baltimore 5-1, still in control of their own destiny in the Atlantic despite the loss. Mexico City leads Fort Worth at 4-2 thanks to SOV. They both have the same division record. Minnesota's ahead of Tulsa thanks to division record at 4-2, and Vancouver has slid back into the lead at 3-2 in the Pacific after Portland's loss. Canton still leads London with a 3-3 record thanks to their head-to-head victory over the Knights. Your wild cards: Arizona, Fort Worth, Carolina, Tulsa, San Diego in that order. San Diego slipping in at the 12 spot at the moment at 4-2. Louisiana on the outside looking in, coming into Impact Monday. They are 3-2. They need a win, probably more than Vancouver does, because Atlanta is in this division, and Louisiana is probably going to have to keep pace with all the other wild card teams. All the 500 teams on the outside looking in, including Sioux Falls, Alamo City, and London. But what stands out to you in the standings, Paul, as we hit essentially the halfway point of the SFL's 20th anniversary season?
There's a few surprises to me. Again, Las Vegas up there, number 2 spot is incredible. But to me, as we just saw the highlights for, the Florida Storm is a big surprise to me, being way down there on the leaderboard. After starting 0-4, Florida has won their last 3 now against Louisiana and Minnesota, or last 2. Again, 2 great teams so far. A so-called desperate play style in the second half for Florida might be a good thing for them, and I believe it's going to cause hailstorms, firestorms, thunderstorms, any type of storms imaginable for any of the teams remaining on their schedule. I'd also bet that Mighty and company are in the lab right now cooking up their game plan for Week 8 against the Vancouver Legion, who I'm sure the Florida Storm, about 15 minutes, are going to be tuning in to get their scouting done on the Legion and put everything they can into next week's matchup against Vancouver.
Florida not on the graphic yet, but it's a quick turnaround for these Legion. They play tonight, and then they go to Florida. They may stay in the South. I don't know. They go to Florida on Friday night due to the schedule change. So very quick turnaround there for the Legion, trying to win back-to-back road games in the East Division. For our Next Level Sports audience, this has been a presentation of This Week in the SFL Season 20 Week 7 edition. Paul and I thank you for watching. For our YouTube audience, pregame of Vancouver and Louisiana comes your way next, followed by that kickoff. For Paul and Cam and the rest of our SFL crew, we'll be right back for Impact Monday right here on YouTube. All right, Paul, it's time for Impact Monday here on SFL YouTube. Vancouver and Louisiana, we have reset things. We are ready to talk this great matchup we got here tonight, a battle of 3 and 2 teams. Been waiting for this all week. They've had some stellar classics in the past. It's just all sorts of things to look at. What are you looking at here tonight mostly?
I'm looking to see some points on the scoreboard, Cam. Both of these teams, anytime they meet, there's a lot of offense. But again, as we've seen from the previous 7 or 8 Impact Monday night spectaculars, we've seen a lot of good defense. So who knows? I'm not sure what type of game we're going to get from both of these teams, but I'm sure it's going to be a great one nonetheless.
You know, Mike, now that we're not on TV, I get to crap all over Mike Daggs. You know how, you know that one guy that goes around the bar just telling the same joke to every person he talks to? That's Mike Daggs.
We missed you, Mike. We missed you the last 2-3 weeks. So glad to have Mike Daggs back in the chat, letting us know what the show name is.
Here's the headlines here tonight. Vancouver probably won't be blown out. Check this out. The Legion haven't lost by more than 7 points since September 26th of 2021. 10 consecutive losses for Vancouver have been by 1 score. People do not kick the crap out of this team. And actually, what's interesting is you know what? We'll do it at the end of the program. Or actually, you know what? We'll do it at the end of this segment. If anyone can tell me who that team was that beat Vancouver by more than 7 points, I don't know. You get a cookie or something. Louisiana, they are pass disruptors. 39 pass deflections this season. That's 3rd. They're 9th in picks with 13. And they have 23 interceptions all time that have gone back for touchdowns. Vancouver's roster only has 9. Are we in for a shootout? The average score of the last 3 meetings is 43-34, but the Legion sport the #1 rush defense and the #1 total defense so far this season. What do you think we're going to get?
I don't know. As long as if the defense for the Legion show up again, I think we might be in store for a Vancouver win. But if Louisiana's offense can get the better of the Legion defense, I think that's going to be a big key component for Louisiana if they would like to win in this game tonight.
Fox Highwind guesses Mexico City in the chat. Justin Reside guesses Chicago. And I think that's all the guesses that we may get, Paul, because it was St. Louis who beat Vancouver the last time Vancouver lost a game by more than 7 points. Go figure. All right, we are moments away from kickoff. That means that it's time for Mike O'Neill. Before we get to that, Skippy for $4.99 in the Super Chat says, say nice things about Vancouver. Their uniforms are more tolerable than Mike St. Green talking about Vancouver's uniforms. So let's get that out of the way. I love all the people over there in Vancouver. They got some great people, and Achilles Papatonis keeps that locker room going all hours of the night with some great music in there. A lot of good people in there. So Skip $4.99 Super Chat. Say nice things about Vancouver. There's a lot of nice things about Vancouver. A lot of nice things about O'Neill. See what he's wearing tonight.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate the work you guys do up there in the booth. Mike O'Neill here. Welcome to Around the SFL matchups to watch. We've got Sioux Falls in Atlanta.
No, we don't.
No.
Thank you, Cam and Paul. Appreciate you guys back in the booth, all that you guys do. Welcome to Monday Night Football, Around the SFL matchups to watch. I'm Mike O'Neill. You guys will notice a little bit of a different backdrop this week as we are not at home. Regardless, we're going to talk about the game. Vancouver traveling into Louisiana. Vancouver defensively looking great this season, only giving up 17.8 points per game. However, on the offense, all of their struggles are starting and ending with the quarterback position. Christian Brown's only tossed 6 touchdowns into the end zone through the air and thrown 12 interceptions, which isn't ideal. It's not like the Christian Brown we saw last season. They've only got 7 takeaways on the defense, like we said, even though they're only giving up 17.8 points per game. Christian Brown, least amount of passing touchdowns. Redford is over 500 yards, and he's got 5 touchdowns on the season, so they're having some success on the ground. Wide receiver Chris Curtis, he's having an excellent season, so it's a little strange to see them with only 6 touchdowns through the air. Matchup I want you guys to watch tonight for Vancouver is going to be wide receiver Chris Curtis against Louisiana's DBs. I think that should be an interesting to watch. Chris Curtis has got 538 yards on the season. We're going to flip the script here talking about Louisiana. Tommy Utah, 10 touchdowns, 13 interceptions on the season. Louisiana's averaging 28 points per game right now this season. And, they're averaging 125 yards on the ground, which is pretty impressive. So both teams pretty stout in the run game. But here's the big thing. Louisiana's offense is only converting on third downs 32% of the time, third in the league for worst conversion rate. So big matchup I want you guys to watch is Tommy Utah. He's sitting on 67% completion percentage for the season against Vancouver's defense. We know Vancouver's got a stout defense as far as allowing points. Tommy Utah's really, really going to have to put up more than 17 points if they're going to want to win this game against Vancouver. And that starts with completing passes on third down and moving the chains on third down. So I want you guys to watch that, Tommy Utah against Vancouver's defense. I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a great week. Good luck to both teams tonight, and we're going to send it back to Cam and Paul in the booth.
Thanks, Mike. And, it'd be nice to be perfect. Wish I wasn't such a human. As O'Neill will probably roast me for that, just like the rest of the chat does when I make a mistake. But great analysis from O'Neill. I agree with him. Curtis against these DBs is the matchup to watch. Brett Killian doesn't have to worry about the 100th career touchdown anymore. But Chris Curtis really has been the main weapon, and he's going to be a threat against Rolliman Hood and Evan Arthur and all those guys.
Absolutely, and the Vancouver receiving core is experienced and they're electric every game that they play. So if Louisiana can stop this pass offense and rush offense, they just need to shut the offense of Vancouver down and still compete and put points up. And I think regardless of who stops who, it's going to be a great game. And I also want to make a request to Mike O'Neill. You do a great job. I love the pregame previews that you do, but you also may need to get a couple co-hosts in there. I see the dogs coming in making an appearance, so I want to see some co-hosts with Mike O'Neill moving forward.
Give me 199 super chat. I love my cream puff. I'm guessing she's talking about Curtis. Maybe she's talking about you, Paul. I don't know. You got a lot of fans out there. I heard you got trampled in an autograph session recently.
Yeah,
Is that true?
A whole group, at least 45 people, just running up to me on the. I was going to the gas station, and I see all these people running up to me, bombard me. I was like, hey, I'll sign a couple shirts, sign a couple arms. That's what we're here for.
Did you count those? How'd you count those 45 people so fast? That's a lot of people to count.
You should see how my mind's moving. Everyone just so fast like that.
45 toddlers, says Mike Daggs. That's crazy. Oh, Vancouver and Louisiana, it's time. Impact Monday on the other side of the break. We'll see y'all soon.
With the Knights playing as well as they are, you will not want to miss seeing their next home game in person. Baltimore comes to town for the first time to Metro Stadium. It's the next New York Knight home game. Call 1-800-GO-KNIGHTS. Get your tickets now. Or you can listen live here. Oh, look at Parkeet Scholl! This is ridiculous! That is another touchdown! Parkeet Scholl! I'm speechless. I can't believe this guy. I mean, look at the burst of speed at the second level.
4 down linemen for Louisville in what appears to be a 4-2-5 set. Coleman back to pass. Coleman pump fake, and then a sack. Rick O'Reilly with the big play to force the Houston punter on the field for the first time tonight. And for O'Reilly, that's sack number 7 on the season. O'Reilly, a monster on the inside. Big play there for the Louisville defense.
First and 10 of the 26, Marconi dropping the throw. And Marconi against the late blitz will go deep down the field, and that one is caught! Past Grayson Abarazzo. Shigeki can't catch him. It's a Mauler touchdown. The 3rd touchdown for Abarazzo in the game. And it just looked like the Legend defense kind of got tangled up. And Grayson went for the pick, and he over pursued.
That was just an outstanding throw by Rocco. I mean, he's 6'5", I believe. Yeah, he's 6'5", 225. Long, rangy, strong, quick arm.
Rastelli back to pass. Rastelli going to the end zone. Pass is caught for a touchdown. Kendall Gilbert, and Baltimore's on the board. Give me some of that crab call. Baltimore cuts into their early deficit. Rastelli's got 6 touchdowns and no picks in the last 6 quarters of action. 2nd and 2 at the 40. Christensen will pass again. They are staying away from Kim. That ball, oh, it's belted up in the air, and Nick Nitro picked it off. That is tremendous defensive effort. Who dove in front of that pass? That was Aquantis Shine, who dove in front of the pass and knocked the ball up in the air. That was one of the best defensive plays I've seen in a long time out of Aquantis Shine. A.J. Levy, 6 seasons, all with Sioux Falls, the strong safety number 42. Chris Dodd, free safety in his 3rd season wears number 49. Alex Parker and Nick Fargo, the linebackers, 91 and 92 respectively, as Rahman steps up in the pocket. Rahman gonna air it out deep, and Thomas Rahman's pass intercepted off the deflection by A.J. Levy. What a play by the veteran.
Well, you mentioned it, Cam. Levy and Dodd, probably the best safety combo here in the SFL. And Levy, a longtime veteran leader of this defense, comes away with his 6th interception.
So 4 receivers set here on 3rd down and goal. I guess this won't be a run. Christensen in the gun, looking towards the end zone, firing into the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. The Pride extend their lead.
What a throw by Christensen again. Has all day to throw and a post route. And that one, I mean, it's not bad coverage by Chappelle. It's just a perfect throw and a great route by...
3rd down and 2 from the 12. Go Knights rings throughout Metro Stadium. St. Clair to pass. St. Clair to the end zone. Intercepted. Oh no. Joe Lynn picked it off. You gotta be kidding me. And 1 first down will give the Crabs yet another 1-possession victory over New York. 2nd and 4 at the 41-yard line. Hand off to Overstreet, right side. Overstreet makes one man miss, and then another. And here goes Overstreet off to the races. Down the sideline, 20. He will be not tackled, and he scores again. 17th touchdown for David Overstreet, and Louisville has scored 19 straight points. And Overstreet is checking on the pulse of Oklahoma City.
Welcome to the South, where the Louisiana Revolution, live from Houma, take on the Vancouver Legion in a battle of 3 and 2 squads here at Stack Up Stadium tonight. Along with Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine, and welcome inside Stack Up Stadium for a great one tonight. Vancouver controls their destiny in the Pacific. A loss gives Portland back the lead. Louisiana having to deal with Atlanta at the top of the league standings. They are desperate for a win here at home. Good evening, Paul.
How you doing, Cam? Excited to be here. It's the SFL Impact Monday Night Spectacular with Cam and Paul. We got 2 win-hungry teams here, ready to put it all out on the line, and we're going to see here in a few hours which team's going to come out victorious.
Christian Brown will call the coin toss, and he wins that toss, and Vancouver will defer to the second half. Kickoff right around the corner here on SFL YouTube. Louisiana, 3.5-point favorites. 51.5 your over-under. The ball's on the tee, the hands in the air. Vancouver, kick it, we're underway. Return from Liam Hammer, 2 yards deep in his end zone, and he'll get it out to the 23-yard line. Tommy Utah is the quarterback for Louisiana. He has only been sacked 4 times this season, 2nd fewest in the SFL, and his 10 touchdowns, good enough for 10th.
Tommy Utah's been on a little bit of a tear here this season, just staying focused, heading into season 20, just doing what he knows how to do, and just trying to lead this Louisiana team to a playoff berth. And tonight we're going to see Utah lead the team and hopefully lead them to a win.
Squarebush gets the Louisiana offense started off strong. He picks up 11 to the 34-yard line, and that's what the Revolution want to see on the ground.
Got to get the run game started early, and that is exactly what the Revolution are going to try to do against one of the best, if not the best, defenses this season in Vancouver.
Number 1 in total defense are the Legion. They're winning in a different way this season. Utah will drop the throw. His pass is caught. That is, did he get it? Nope, just short of the first down. I was going to say back-to-back first downs, but really good pursuit there by the Legion. That pass was hauled in by Levy Lease, the second tight end on this roster. Nice to see him involved early.
You love to see any team get the tight end involved early, and even if it's the second tight end, helping to try to move the chains here. We have 2nd and inches.
Hand off to Squarebush. He gets the call for the first down, and earlier tonight we saw the beautiful drone shot from Dags Drone Works. Aerial coverage of today's game provided by Dags Drone Works. Aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. First down and 10 at the 45-yard line. As Utah fires down the field, the pass is tipped up in the air and nearly intercepted. Looking for Lyric Da Vinci down the field will bring up 2nd down and 10. Let's meet the rest of this Louisiana offense. Along with Da Vinci is Liam Hammer and Reggio De Niro, the wide receivers. Levy Lease, who we saw with the first catch of the night, along with tight end John Michael Suddeth. And on this offensive line, pay attention to Ross Napoli at left guard, 6'1", 315 in his 5th season, wearing number 77. Randy Squarebush and Cameron Collier in the backfield. Utah's pass is caught by Da Vinci this time. A little shorter route. Moves the Sticks first down to the 38.
A great first down for Louisiana. And credit to Lyric Da Vinci and Rego De Niro, both scoring last week against Florida in the loss. But they both combined for 57% of Tommy Utah's yards last week. So I'm excited to see if Tommy Utah is going to target them again or kind of spread it out a little more to his other targets this game.
First and 10 of the Vancouver 38-yard line, and John Michael Suddeth with his first catch picks up 6 yards. This Vancouver defense led up front by Achilles Papatonis, Cabrin Womack, Gerald Giudice on that defensive front. Linebackers Josh Farnsey, Earl Fields IV, and Marquise Reed. Corners Major Key, Michael Lister, and Zach Lay. Free safety Mark Lopez and Will Stern. Drew Hamilton is your strong safety. This Vancouver bunch, a very good defense to start the season. Dump off to Squarebush, and Papatonis gets his first tackle of the night. We'll credit him for a TFL, bring up 3rd and 4.
I'm excited to see, as this game progresses, how this Vancouver rushing defense is going to hold up. Again, so far this season, they've only allowed 59 rush yards per game, which is number 1 in the SFL through 7 weeks of action.
Stephen Hacker, Jack Brown are our statisticians tonight, as Squarebush is going to be caught up at the line of scrimmage by Josh Farnsey and Earl Fields IV. So the linebackers stall the drive for the Revolution. We also have Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis back in our studios for halftime and postgame. They are playing each other tonight. Curtis on Vancouver and Tyler Falk, a.k.a. Mike Ryan, for the Louisiana Revolution. And so you won't want to miss the halftime and the postgame tonight, folks, because they're going to be sparring. We may get a little bit of blood. Not sure how that's going to work with the 2 different cameras, but we'll figure it out. 48-yard field goal from Otis Boudreau is good. And, wow, Curtis and Tyler have never seen more fake punches in my life. Really bizarre. Otis Boudreau kicks the extra point, 3-0 early on.
Boudreau, that's going to be the 6th field goal on the season. That'll be 6 for 7 on the season, putting 3 points on the board early for this Revolution team and helping them take the lead with 7 minutes left in the first quarter.
Drive summary for Louisiana will come up shortly. 9-play, 45-yard drive. Squarebush decent on the opening drive, but you can definitely see why Vancouver is touted as the number 1 rush defense in the league. Utah got things done through the air, 4 or 5 for 32 yards. Justice Blackwell on the return up to the 22-yard line, and let's meet Christian Brown, wide receiver for Vancouver. He middle of the pack numbers this season, but is 11th in the league in completion percentage, 73.1%. Got to get the touchdowns up, though. Just 6 in 5 games.
Yeah, to have 6 touchdowns, to also include 12 interceptions, you got to try to limit the amount of turnovers. But like you said, get the touchdowns up. You've got to play a little smarter against the Revolution team tonight.
Tackle in the backfield by Dante Grimm out of the slot. Robert Redford dropped for a 4-yard loss to start. Grimm showing his impact so far.
The former Albuquerque Atom, one of the SFLM's most prestigious defenders that we have seen in the minor leagues. A former two-way player for the Atoms, has a couple championships with the Atoms. I expect a lot of big plays from Dante Grimm tonight.
Grimm is the only player with a pick 6 this season for the Revolution defense. Vancouver also only has one major key. Offside for Louisiana. Free play is knocked down, but it will give those 5 yards back that essentially Redford lost to set up a 2nd and 9 coming up.
Louisiana defense just needs to maybe cool down a little, just maybe a little too antsy here, jumping off sides here on this first drive for Vancouver. As long as Louisiana defense can contain these receivers and maybe force them to rely on Robert Redford a little more, I think it's going to be a very exciting game between these teams.
Curtis leads the way for Vancouver with 38 receptions, 14th in the SFL. Redford just a bit behind him with 31. Killian 24. Justice Blackwell 16. And James Walters 12 this season. 2nd down and 9. Deep shot is tipped up in the air and incomplete. Looking for Walters down the field. Evan Arthur was around the football to set up a 3rd and 9.
I'm sure Kristen Brown is thankful that the defenders couldn't secure the ball there. Just fingertips away from being a turnover and giving Louisiana an opportunity to extend this lead.
Revolution defense this season gives up 27 points a game. That's middle of the row, but they're not too shabby themselves on the ground, and Vancouver's trying to keep things through the air on this opening drive, and that hasn't worked.
There it is.
And Mike Ryan on Monday has an interception on the opening drive. Point 1 for Mike Ryan as the Revolution take over in Legion territory.
Mike Ryan with his 4th interception on the season. He is now the leading interceptor on the Revolution defense, and what a time to just be aware and all eyes on the ball. A little tip drill, giving the ball back to the Revolution.
Hot start for this Revs pass defense, which is 25th in the SFL. Giving up 338 yards per game. They look excellent on the opening drive, and a 9-yard loss right on the back end of that play for Vancouver. With the sack, that was Cabrin Womack, and it'll be 2nd and 19.
Womack currently, before that sack, had 4 on the season, which was good for 17th in the league so far in season 20. Adding another one to the tally board, that's going to be moving Womack up a little higher on the rankings for sacks.
Utah's pass is incomplete, so 3rd and 19 coming up, and both defenses are settling in. And this is difficult to convert if you're anybody. If I was Louisiana, I'd just try to get notice range.
Yeah, as long as if you're Louisiana, you just want to get points on the board this drive. Ideally looking for a touchdown, but if you can get a few yards on this 3rd down and long to get into field goal range, I would take that as a win if you're Louisiana.
Utah gonna try for it all, and he's got it. 1st down to the 11-yard line. That's a pickup of 24, and Lyric Da Vinci off to a fast start.
Tommy Utah with the gutsy play call and the gutsy throw. What a beautiful throw. Finding Da Vinci over the middle to beat the defense and move into the red zone, getting and converting a 3rd and 19.
Man, major key took, he landed on Da Vinci's head. Kill shot down there. Hope Da Vinci's okay. 3 wide receivers, 1st and 10 at the 11. Utah's pass is checked down to Squarebush, and Vancouver and seemingly Arizona seem to be all over the flats tonight as Hamilton makes the stop.
A great stop after a big play. If you're the Vancouver Legion defense, you just have to hold strong here and hold the Louisiana Revolution to a field goal. If Louisiana's going to keep throwing here in the red zone, watch out for an interception as well.
Utah's pass is tipped. A nice job by Michael Lister in the slot to get a paw up there and knock that pass down. It'll be 3rd and 12.
Vancouver Legion defense just proving to the league why they are the #1 rated defense so far this season. And if they can get this stop on 3rd and 12, that would be a big moral victory going into the remainder of this game.
3rd and 12 for Utah. Empty backfield, 5 wide. Utah going to the back corner of the end zone. That pass is knocked away and intercepted. So the Mike Ryan interception turns into a pick for Michael Lister. And Vancouver, all's well that ends well for their offense.
Michael Lister, first interception on the season. Another tip drill. That just shows the IQ and awareness of these defenders nowadays in the SFL, that you just never know if it's going to be a tip ball and it's going to show up right in your hand. So great job by Michael Lister to get the ball back for his team, and the Legion looking to march down the field and maybe tie this game up or take the lead.
Here's what I love about the Vancouver Legion in this opening quarter, as Redford is tackled inbounds after a 3-yard gain. That's Blake Craze on the stop. If you look at Brown's sheepish numbers there. But Vancouver has had 8 defenders on the opening 2 drives make some kind of play in the box score. Papatonis, Womack, Farnsey, Fields the fourth, Key, Lister, Zach Lay, Hamilton. I mean, they've been all over the field working as a unit, as Brown on 2nd and 7 will complete the pass to Curtis for a first down in midfield.
Pretty throw there to Curtis, and like I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this receiving core for the Vancouver Legion is scary. And we're going to see here again as Curtis just hits him with the post route. Quarterback throws a dart to him, brings the ball down, and moves the chains.
First and 10 at midfield, 3:50 to go on Christian Brown's second completion for positive yardage. That one goes for 27. Redford to the outside. He's got some space. Arthur with the tackle, but not before Redford picks up 9. No runs yet for Robert Redford on Brown's 6th pass.
And if I'm Vancouver, you got to get Robert Redford the ball. He's had an extremely impressive season so far. 116 carries, 526 yards. Both good for 7th in carries in the league and 9th in yards, adding on 5 touchdowns as well. Got to get Robert Redford involved.
And off there to Redford, picks up a first down at Louisiana 39. Easy enough, as Paul predicts. Handoff, Redford picks up 8, and all of a sudden the Legion are moving the football on the ground as Redford tosses it to Tank Bennett's backside after an 8-yard pickup.
Legion starting to finally gain some momentum late in this first quarter. Moving down the field pretty effortlessly. Let's see if the Louisiana Revolution defense is going to be able to stop Christian Brown and company on this drive.
Redford up the middle, only picks up a yard. Really nice job by the linebackers to shut that down. That was Diesel. Brings up a 3rd down and 1. In field goal range.
How about Chuck Diesel? Sure, he's wrapping running backs up and receivers, but also in the pass game, 9 pass deflections, 2nd in the league so far.
Redford's got a first down to the 21 as Vancouver approaches the red zone. You know, one of the hallmarks of this matchup was that season 15 quarterfinal that Louisiana won in this building 42-34. That's actually the last time that Vancouver has played here at Stack Up Stadium, was that quarterfinal game, and that was the Reggie Streeter and Robert Redford show. It's kind of amazing that it's been that long since Vancouver's been back here. Not as many fireworks, at least so far, but both teams moving the football pretty well.
Definitely a different style of game that we're used to seeing between these two teams so far.
Redford gets 4, so that's 5 straight plays to Robert Redford after Brown was mixing things up early.
Going back to the last couple matchups between these teams, including that quarterfinal matchup, the last 3 games that these teams have played, neither team has scored below 34 points. So a 3-0 first quarter is a lot different than what we're seeing from the previous matchups.
2nd and 6. Brown's pass is caught by Curtis on the sideline to the 5-yard line. Nice toe drag swag there from Chris Curtis, moves the chains.
Chris Curtis is no stranger to getting first downs, catching balls from Christian Brown, and moving the chains as looking to possibly move up into the top 3 in receiving yards this season. And with his few catches so far early in this game, already above 600 yards on the season so far.
10th play of the drive. 4 passes, 4 for 4 is Brown. 5 runs for 24 yards. And they've had the ball for over 4 minutes. Legion doing what they want. And off to Redford is dropped for a loss. A 3-yard loss. Tackle in the backfield by Odette Boudreau. And the Boudreaux are out early for Louisiana tonight.
3 points from Otis, and got Odette making a nice tackle there. If you're Louisiana defense right now, you just have to bend and not break. And we're going to see if they are going to bend or if they are going to break on this red zone opportunity for Vancouver.
Brown's pass, as Killian had to come back for it, is caught for no gain. Arthur bumped him off his route and totally blew up that play. Third down coming up on the other side. Vancouver nothing, Louisiana 3. The Legion in prime position to get their first points on the board. You're watching the Impact Monday Spectacular on SFL YouTube.
And spectacular it has been through that first quarter of action by both of these defenses. Couple interceptions and turnovers. These defenses are playing really great tonight.
3rd and goal at the 8. We'll get your quarter stats here momentarily. As straight back, the pass is hauled in by Hector Huxley. Vancouver tried to put the switch on the Revolution inside the 5, and they were all over that. Huxley's first catch, but it'll result in a field goal.
And I like that offensive call there, trying to get Hector Huxley involved with his 5th catch on the season, trying to catch the Revolution defense off guard. Saw that they were dropping back in a zone and just tried to sneak it in there with Huxley.
Field goal is up and good, so we're tied at 3 with 10:30 to go in the first half. Chance to win with the field goal to win so far this season is 11 for 11 on his career. That is his 58th make, 26th all time. One yard in the end zone. Liam Hammer on the return and gets it up to the 23-yard line. You know, this was the last time that they played at Stack Up Stadium was in that season 15 quarterfinal game, Paul. But they also met at the convention in season 16, a game Vancouver won in Canada 45-34. And I know you weren't at the that convention in Houston. Or I'm sorry, that was back in season 17. Vancouver won the game 41-34. But I know you weren't there at that convention, Paul, but there was a lot of banging on the table. It was the late game in the evening, so there was a lot of inebriation involved, and it was a really outstanding game to cap off the night.
Oh, I'm sure, and I wish I was there. But after being at the convention last year, I know moving forward, and any of these matchups that we're going to be talking about seasons from now and how we're looking back at, oh, they played at the convention, I can't wait to see it all live happening at the convention with the great community that the SFL has to offer.
Only one of these games was separated by more than 14 points. Vancouver destroyed the New Orleans Pharaohs way back in the opening week of season 14. But otherwise, these matchups have been pretty close. Tommy Utah off the incompletion on first down, dumps it off to John Michael Sudduth. I think Louisiana had some backups in off the kickoff that caused some miscommunication on the last play. But Sudduth back in at tight end, picks up 7 to bring up 3rd and 3.
John Michael Sudduth getting on the board early with his 2nd reception. Last week had 0 receptions for 0 yards. So a little bit of a different mindset for this Revolution offense to maybe get Michael Sudduth involved earlier.
There's your first quarter numbers as Da Vinci makes yet another catch. See both teams under 100, but both teams have been able to move the ball pretty effectively throughout this game, and Lyric Da Vinci has been the #1 target of the evening.
Just like last week in a 21-34 loss against Florida Storm, Lyric Da Vinci was also the leading receiver last week with 3 receptions for 99 yards, chipping in a touchdown as well, and had a long one for 74 yards.
Hammer doesn't even have a target tonight so far for Louisiana, but it's been Da Vinci now with 3 grabs, who's been doing the heavy lifting. 1st and 10 at the Louisiana 45-yard line. The handoff goes to Squarebush. He breaks a tackle. Squarebush pulls over another and picks up 9, his toughest run of the night, to the Vancouver 47.
That was an extremely mean run there by Randy Squarebush, and we've seen this for a few seasons now since Randy Squarebush has joined the SFL. He's not afraid to put his shoulder down and go up against these D linemen and linebackers of opposing teams.
Utah flips it outside to Randy Squarebush, has a 1st down. Tackle made by Fields. 1st down to the 44.
A little bit different there on that play as the defender with the big hit on Squarebush, but that just shows the toughness of Randy Squarebush, and he's one of the better running backs in the league. To be 4th in carries this season, 7th in yards, 4 touchdowns on the season. He's off to a good campaign so far in season 20.
Squarebush wrapped up behind the line. That is another tackle for loss for this defensive front. Judas Sessi now has one to go along with Papatonis's and Womack's. They all have one tonight. 2nd and 12.
Yeah, the Vancouver defense, they are no strangers to bringing running backs down in the backfield. 16th in the league. That's going to be roughly their 33rd or 34th on the season so far.
Utah just gets the football away and decides to throw it out of bounds to nobody. Utah had the pocket breaking down, and that'll set up a 3rd down and 12. Utah now 9 of 15.
That's a smart decision from Tommy Utah. You already have 3rd and 12, so to just get the ball and throw it away rather than it being 3rd and even longer, that was just a smart decision from Utah there.
No intentional grounding in the SFL. 3rd down and 12 at the Vancouver 46. Empty 5 wide. This has been pretty effective so far tonight for the Revolution. Dime look for Vancouver as Utah drops to pass, dumps it off over the middle, and that is hauled in just shy, I believe, of Boudreau's field goal range. The catch made by Amit Shafunkta, and I think they're going to punt this ball.
Yeah, just slightly out of Boudreau's field goal range, and you just got to, if you're Louisiana, just putting your faith into the defense and trying to stop Vancouver from taking the lead in this first half.
Punt inside the 10-yard line. Actually, they're going to mark it just at the 10. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. It's field goals for everyone so far tonight. 3-3, 7.5 to go in the first half as that pass out to Redford is cut down. One thing we have seen all night, and I expect we will continue to see, is brilliant tackling, and Blake Craze has his 2nd.
These defenses are just playing an extremely high level of football tonight on Impact Monday. All these defenders are making impacts for both teams in this first half, and Robert Redford getting his 5th reception on the night.
2nd and 9 at the 11. Brown gives it off to Blackwell, but that pass is incomplete, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and 9.
Justice Blackwell getting a target there. One of the special team threats that is in this SFL community, just taking a big hit there from Chuck Diesel. And if that was me getting that hit, I don't know if I'd be getting up as fast as Justice Blackwell just did.
Third and 9, that pass is hauled in by Blackwell, but again, short of the sticks. So kind of an anemic drive there from Vancouver after they had just gotten the field goal drive, and they'll have to punt the football. And both offenses are trying to figure out what's going to be most effective tonight here against these two stout defenses.
We go back to that punt call by Gerald Smith, the head coach for the Louisiana Revolution, and that's just Gerald Smith putting his faith into his defense, and their defense comes through. They have great field possession here on their own 47 and only have about 53 yards to go to put some points on the board.
Tommy Utah, 10 of 16 with a pick, 86 yards tonight. Da Vinci's your leading receiver. Squarebush, 20 yards on 5 carries. Vancouver's defense gives up just a little bit less than 60 rushing yards per game. Squarebush with the flip outside, and again, terrific tackling by both of these teams out in the flats. That's Zach Lay with the wrap-up, his 4th tackle.
Zach Lay, a tremendous defender and staple for this Vancouver defense. Looked a little slow after that hit, but was able to get up and on the field here this play, looking to make another big-time play for the Legion.
2nd and 9, handoff to Squarebush, and that picks up 7. 3rd and 2, everything's open for the Revolution, who, you know, if they just keep running Squarebush up the middle all night long, probably going to come out with a win. They've been pretty effective.
Yeah, instead of a 3rd and long, we're seeing a 3rd and 2. Great run from Squarebush, and I'm sure if they keep just rushing it up the middle, they're going to tire this Legion defense out at some point, and they've been doing pretty well in their rush attack so far. So let's see how they're going to finish this game and see if we're going to see Randy Squarebush in a more prime role.
2 of 5 on 3rd down, now 3 for 6. Squarebush gets the first down of the Vancouver 43. The Legion are just 1 of 5 to start the game on 3rd down, and the Revolution keep the drive alive.
And the clock is rolling. Chains have moved. We have 1st and 10 on the Vancouver 43, moving into Vancouver territory. Tommy Utah and company looking to get some points and take the lead back.
Utah dropping back deep, all kinds of time. Utah is sacked. An 8-yard loss. This defensive front for Vancouver has been excellent tonight. This time it's Charlie Brown, the defensive tackle, so all 4 starting D linemen have done something.
Yeah, and Charlie Brown getting in Tommy Utah's face after that play, just letting him know that nothing comes easy with this Vancouver Legion defense, and as you mentioned, all 4 defensive linemen getting involved early.
Utah out of the shotgun, fires down the field, and it's caught by Da Vinci down to the 23-yard line. Da Vinci has been open on those posts, 83 yards on 4 catches now in the first half.
And hey, at this point, it's kind of like Louisiana likes these 3rd and long situations, as we've seen this play twice now, where Lyric Da Vinci just runs the deep post and finds the opening in the defense and moves the chains on 3rd and long.
First down at the 23, Da Vinci crushing it here in the first half. As Utah is sacked again. Boy, first downs have really put Louisiana behind the sticks, but it has not hurt them tonight. They've been able to convert on those long ones, but Judah Sessi with the sack, joining Womack and Brown.
Just battle of the trenches is what we've seen so far, and it looks about tied up in an even matchup right now between Randy Squarebush and this Vancouver front.
Utah's pass is caught by Hammer, his first target of the half, and then some pushing and shoving from Hamilton after the play. Utah's red hot now, 13 of 19.
Yeah, Utah turning up the heat with another beautiful throw. We finally got Liam Hammer on the board with a couple yards and a first down, moving into the red zone.
I couldn't figure out the chat. James Walters and Josh Farnsworth were saying GGs, and I thought, it's a 3-3 game. What are we saying good game for? But that's Gerald Giudice with the takedown, but that seems like a distant memory right now for this Vancouver defense as Sudduth makes another catch, 2nd and 4 at the 6.
I love the Revolution's plan of getting Sudduth involved. 3rd reception. Love getting the tight ends involved. And I don't know, momentum's starting to lean a little towards Louisiana.
And Squarebush tried to put the charge to the Legion defense up front, but Josh Farnsey too strong. Check that, fields the 4th too strong to bring up 3rd and 3 at the 4, probably the final play before the 2-minute warning.
And 3rd and 3 here. You got the fullback out there. Let's see if Squarebush is going to try to run it up the middle and maybe to the outside, or maybe they're just trying to trick this Legion defense, catch them off guard.
Squarebush breaks a tackle short of the marker.
Strong run. Great job by the Legion defense.
4th and inches at the 2. That's Major Key with his 4th wrap-up of the night. We'll see what Louisiana does. 2 minutes to go. You're watching the Impact Monday Spectacular on SFL YouTube. Low-scoring game, but very entertaining game here in the first half. Paul Sarp, Cameron Irvine, along with Jack Brown, Stephen Hacker on stats, Tyler Falcon, Chris Curtis standing by at studios. 4th and inches, the offense at the moment on the field. You can't take these timeouts with you. You might as well try and draw them offside. 3.5 yards, check that, 3.6 yards per carry for Squarebush, but the few inches they have left deterring the Legion from, or deterring the Revolution from going for it. They'll take the timeout. Otis Boudreau will kick the field goal. And honestly, with points at a premium, Paul, can understand the strategy.
Hey, I get it. You'll take any points you can get in a game like this. Low scoring. Defenses have showed up to play so far. And Louisiana, if you're a member of the Revolution taking 3 points here with 2 minutes left in the first half, the way your defense has been playing, if you can continue to stop this Vancouver Legion offense, I'm sure they're extremely happy with the 3 points here.
18-yard chip shot for Odette Boudreau coming up. Check that. Otis Boudreau coming up. Odette with the 1 TFL, couple tackles. Otis Boudreau's field goal is good. 6-3. Louisiana leads Vancouver in a matchup that the last 3 times has averaged 43-34. Here we are at 6-3 towards the end of the half.
Just a great game on the defensive side of the ball. These offenses, they've been moving the ball fairly easily down the field, but the red zone defenses of both of these teams has just been spectacular so far.
11 plays, 73-yard drive for Louisiana, but 6 of the plays were runs that went for -2 yards. That's the Vancouver defensive line effect. Utah was brilliant in helping them get some points. 1:54 to go on Blackwell's return.
When you have a high-flying offense like Vancouver, 2 minutes is a lot of time to go down the field 80 yards. We've seen a few times already that they've shown flashes of big plays, but just haven't been able to get the big play yet.
Brown's pass outside is hauled in by Sawyer Stern. That only picks up 3. Coming up on the APM Music halftime report, Tyler Falk, a.k.a. Bill Pullman, and Chris Curtis, a.k.a. Casper, the friendly host, will bring you analysis of the Vancouver Legion and Louisiana first half. Totally not biased, I'm sure. A look at the Wild Wild West, breaking down Atlanta taking over the #1 spot in the league standings, and so much more. The APM Music halftime report, like only the Impact Monday Spectacular can do, as Redford is going to fight for the first down of the 31. That'll put Vancouver in the no huddle.
Saving their timeouts here, trying to get this 2-minute offense rolling.
Brown, they may only have just that toss to Redford out there, but he is saved with a 2-yard loss. Dante Grimm shoves him out. Oh, did not go out of bounds. And Vancouver sitting on things here at 2nd and 12.
It's looking like Vancouver may just want to get this half over with, cut their losses, and move forward and look forward to the second half.
Shotgun splitbacks here for Brown. Haven't seen much of that here in the first half of play. And Brown's going deep. That pass is incomplete. Looking for Walters. Man, Bennett and the rest of the secondary have been blanketing Walters tonight, and that'll set up a 3rd and 12. It's also worth noting that Brett Killian just has 1 catch for no yards in the first half. Walters with none.
Yeah, most of the receptions have been little dump-off passes to the outside to Redford. You got some prime-time targets in Chris Curtis and Brett Killian. You got Justice Blackwell, James Walters, Hector Huxley. It's just credit to the Revolution secondary for stopping these big-time targets for the Legion.
Christian Brown's pass is caught by Blackwell, and they're actually going to burn a timeout. So 2 left. Vancouver wisely controlling the clock here. And Blackwell's got his first big target down the field.
That's a great way for Blackwell to go up and just go after the ball. You got 3 defenders around you. You know you're going to get hit, but to just go up and get the ball and come down with it is a great job by Justice Blackwell to put the Legion in a little bit better position to possibly get a couple points on the board headed into halftime.
Brown 13-17 for 87 yards and a pick in the first half. They hand it off to Redford. Bizarre play call there with 30 seconds to go. 2 timeouts. They no huddle to the Vancouver 49-yard line. Brown hands it off again to Redford, and Redford does manage to squeeze a few yards, not calling one of their remaining 2 timeouts, and the clock is ticking away here at the end of the half. Now Brown's going to throw, and that pass is caught by Curtis inside the 32 seconds left. And Vancouver gets into field goal range. Wow, very unorthodox, but the Legion get the job done, and they will end up getting a chance to win out on the field for an attempt.
Yeah, Vancouver putting all of the viewers, including you, yourself, and myself, on our toes with that strategy there. But you got 2 seconds left, a big catch by Curtis. You're in field goal range, and you have an opportunity to tie the game up and head into the second half clean slate.
That 2-minute drive definitely kept us guessing, as at the end of the day, Christian Brown able to deliver to Curtis 59 yards on 3 catches in the first half, and chance to win's field goal is good. So 6-6 is how we hit the first half locker room. Wowzers.
And I'll tell you what, Cam, I'm excited for this halftime show. We got Tyler Falk and Curtis on the other side playing each other. We got an exciting 6-6 game here. Excited to see what they have to say.
Same here, Paul. Tyler and Curtis on the other side of this break. 6-6 here at Stack Up Stadium. We'll be back shortly.
And with that, a baseball score at halftime at Stack Up Stadium. It's Vancouver 6 and Louisiana 6. Alongside Bill Pullman, I'm Casper, the friendly host. And we are in the midst of a really good defensive battle, Tyler, all the way throughout. It's been blow after blow on the defensive side of the ball. Neither running back really getting a giant foothold in this game.
It's been some rare, seldom wide receiver catches, and I almost can guarantee you, if Mike Ryan and you were on the same side of the field, you got nothing. But I got to spend some time. Mike Ryan's going to spend some time with his favorite guy from north of the border, and that's Brett Killian. Well, I have my favorite guy from north of the border. That's Brett Solberg. Not to be confused by the two, but it's we gotta have our guys, right? And it's been interesting to watch, both in terms of, you know, we're hypercritical of our own teams, right?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of interesting facial expressions from myself on a couple of these plays, a couple of what in the world's going on that eventually worked out, and some that obviously didn't. That pick in the end zone took off points. The defense for Vancouver playing strong after the Mike Ryan interception on the ensuing possession. But it's been a story of these defenses getting into the backfield, especially Vancouver's front four.
Yeah.
Terrorizing Tommy Utah on opposing soil. So hats off to the Vancouver front seven.
Yeah, multiple sacks, including 2, 1 for a 9-yard loss, 1 for an 8-yard loss on Tommy Utah. Utah and Brown have both been busy, throwing nearly 40 times between the two of them. And really, it's an attribute to what the running backs haven't really been able to do on each side of the ball. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sub 4 yards a carry for both halfbacks, neither halfback above 35 yards in total in the ball game. These defenses have really narrowed in and honed in on the rushing attack because they know what type of running back that Squarebush and Redford are. And Redford not able to make as many moves as he was able to throughout most of that first half. We saw a little bit of it on that final drive, which saw Vancouver put up their second field goal and tie us back up again. But Squarebush, maybe just a little bit too repetitive on a couple of these past runs, couple of offset eyes that just went for one good play and then they try to go back to the well. But Vancouver's a smart team. They know exactly what they're looking for after they see the play once. And that's just been the story of the ball game, not these running backs having to deal with some top-notch defenders.
Let's take our focus away from Homa for a moment and talk about another division going on in the SFL, and that is the Wild West right now. It is a 2-horse race right now with Vegas over Arizona in that division due to a head-to-head matchup earlier in the season. And do you see them being the only two at the end of this thing? Because you've got a couple of other competitive teams in that division as well.
Well, the real surprise out of the division is San Diego. We didn't know what to expect after their massive rebuild, and all of a sudden, you know, they're sitting here at the end of all this at a 4-2 record after the win versus division rivals Denver. And Denver, you know, at the bottom of the pecking order at a very surprising, you know, how often, especially you talk about this team maybe 2 years ago or 4 seasons ago when Denver is competing for a championship and eventually getting a championship, you know, how the mighty have fallen in some regards. But that analogy has been used too often, in my opinion, for the Denver Nightwings. And they've been trying to rebuild, trying to get back there, but being put in a tough division with the likes of the always, I call them spunky Las Vegas Fury, who are always in it and always in the last couple of seasons have really made some really nice strides to be one of the front runners here in the SFL. And Arizona, of course, runner-ups to the Baltimore Vultures a season ago in the championship game. Eddie Gage, of course, will tell you all about that one. But this is a crazy division.
Yeah,
we
it
have
really is.
Lots of high-flying teams and high offenses.
Yeah, 100%. And the Fury, who lead that division, actually have the number 2 spot in the league standings right now behind the new number 1 that actually owned the strength of victory advantage over Baltimore before Baltimore lost to Fort Worth this weekend. It's the Atlanta Swarm. Atlanta now takes the top spot, Vegas number 2, Baltimore 3, and it shakes up things at the top echelon of the league, and Baltimore not in a spot that they are accustomed to being, and that is not number 1 or 2.
And I think there are 2 major reasons, in my opinion, why we see Atlanta at number 1. Well, let's make it 3 quickly, because of course that defense is playing really, really good. Top 3 coming into this week in terms of points per game allowed. And of course, that was only helped by playing Los Angeles. Sorry, Lichens fans. It's not a good season for you guys in the slightest. But that offense, there's 2 metrics, in my opinion, that'll tell you right from the get-go whether or not you have a really solid offensive attack. Now, of course, number 1 being turnovers. They're number 1 coming into this week in the amount of turnovers given away with 5. They didn't have a whole lot versus Los Angeles, if I'm remembering correctly. But the second one to me is if you can average through the air at least 250 yards through the air and at least 100 yards on the ground, you have a balanced attack and something that teams have to game plan for both sets of aspects. And right now, Atlanta's doing it. They're right at 250 coming into the week. They had a solid game versus Los Angeles, of course, and coming into the game versus Los Angeles, 130 rushing yards per game. So BDG and Bryant Dynasty, a dynamic duo on that offense, which has kept every single team guessing. Their latest victims, the Los Angeles Lichens, learned firsthand this weekend.
Yeah, and an absolutely suffocating show of force from the Atlanta defense over the LA Lichens. It is a 6-6 game at Stack Up Stadium where we head to the second half in short order. But first, a good luck whipped creaming brought to you by Skippy. Go ahead.
And this is why I clamor for a whipped cream dispenser in the broadcast booths at the convention.
That is incredible. We will see you guys on the other side of the second half. It's Cameron Irvine and Paul Sarp. You enjoy the second half, everybody.
And we're back here at Stack Up Stadium. Start of the second half. Vancouver and Louisiana tied at 6 through 22 minutes of action. Alongside Paul Sarp, I'm Cameron Irvine, Jack Brown, and Stephen Hacker in the stat truck. Thanks to Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis giving us that halftime and postgame entertainment. And you know, Paul, it's a community effort here on Impact Monday. That's kind of what it's all about. Ashley Jackson, the show would not be the same without her post-game interviews. Show would not be the same without O'Neill's, preview of the action. And it just, everything's better when so many people get involved and showcase their great talents to the league. And we love Mondays here.
It's the best night of the week in the SFL.
Christian Brown starts the second half and gets it out to Brett Killian. Hey-oh, no yards in the first half for Brett Killian. He picks up 6. He was ticked off in the second quarter late after Chris Curtis stole one to get him into field goal range. That was Killian who was diving for it, and he made sure to tell him in the locker room and tell Christian, hey, I need some targets.
And we see it with the first play of the second half for Vancouver. You got to get Brett Killian involved. He's one of the most experienced receivers in this league. And to have the first half he did, I'm sure he was a little vocal at halftime, and we see that he's already making an impact in the second half.
Redford picks up a few, so it'll set up a 3rd down and 1. Here's your first half stats, 170 to 147 for Louisiana in total offense. Both teams are similar on the ground, but Tommy Utah was able to sling it down the field a little bit more, specifically to Lyric Da Vinci. The 3 sacks are a problem for Louisiana's offensive line. Vancouver's defensive line has definitely won the day as Redford picks up a 1st down. Grimm on the tackle, his 4th this evening.
And a big thing for Vancouver is their defensive success this season and in the first half. They're 1st in the league in rush yards allowed per game, 1st in yards allowed per game, 1st in first downs allowed, 2nd in points allowed per game, and they're showing exactly why they are the #1 defense tonight on Impact Monday.
Brown's pass is caught by Brett Killian to the Vancouver 48-yard line. It's a pickup of 14, and the Legion have a 1st down, so we've seen a shift in the Vancouver passing offense so far effective against the Revs.
BK12 getting a 1st down for Vancouver, a little short of Louisiana territory, but this Vancouver offense is looking a little bit different from the first half, but I like what they're showing us on this first drive in the second half so far.
Brown 16 for 20 has been pretty efficient as Redford's got a couple of blocks and he's gone. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Vancouver, the first of the night. And it's Robert Redford's.
How about it, Robert Redford? Go ahead and get you some. What a run here, as we're going to see again. Just, you have the blocking. Credit to the offensive line for the incredible blocking, and then it's just a foot race, and the Revolution defense, you just can't keep up with Robert Redford. Incredible play there, incredible drive by Vancouver, and you have an opportunity to have a 13-6 lead early in the second half.
Walters with that last block, 86 yards on 11 carries now, and for Vancouver, whose offense struggled to find a rhythm in the first half, they come out in the 3rd quarter with some excellent adjustments. 5 plays, 76-yard drive. Everything was working on that drive that takes less than 2 minutes. Extra point from 2 in is good, and it's 13-6. Vancouver on top of Louisiana.
That's just Robert Redford, just knowing his game and knowing that he is always just one play away from changing the game. And after a stagnant performance by the offense in the first half, they come out of the locker room and just get it done.
Liam Hammer, who's also been pretty quiet tonight, just 1 catch for 16 yards, takes the kick from his goal line and is roughed up at the 23. The SFL would like to recognize some staff who operate mostly behind the scenes to keep the league operational. Andrew Rastelli operates the minor league, getting new coaches up to speed and players onto teams and in the portal. Ashley Jackson helps to keep our community a welcoming place for all, and Marcus Dunhill assists with contracts and off-season construction. Thanks to all of our terrific staff that has helped the SFL to 10 years of operation. 1st and 10 at the 23. And that pass caught by Hammer, stops on a dime and picks up 9 to the 32-yard line. And it's worth noting, talking about the minor league, Paul, just in the last 24 hours, 4 new players in the league.
They're rolling in.
Yeah, Sonny Sky goes to Tacoma, Stuart Gotts to San Jose, John Smith to Ottawa, and Kenny Ginobili to Annapolis. And, over 100 minor league players part of this class and growing every day.
And that's just what makes SFL so great. So welcome everyone new. We're excited to have you here and can't wait to see you hit the field.
2nd and 1, hand off to Squarebush, picks up a 1st down. Squarebush 9 carries in the first half for 32 yards, gets his 10th there. Every single player on this Vancouver Legion defense has hit the box score tonight, Paul. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, just early in the 3rd quarter. Utah out to Squarebush, and he breaks a tackle, breaks a second. Squarebush keeping the legs turning, picks up 7 to the Louisiana 40-yard line, leaving half the Legion defense in his wake.
We should be watching a 3rd and about 10 here. So that was just an incredible job by Squarebush to fight through 3 or 4 defenders to make it a 2nd and manageable here for the Revolution.
And off Collier, and Collier decked right at the line of scrimmage, just shy of the line to gain. Zach Lay's 6th tackle of the night. He leads all players in the game.
Collier, a 2-time All-Star, making an appearance in the second half with his first carry on the night. He's been making some great blocks for Randy Squarebush so far. Adding on to the yard.
Oh, he's going backwards. Squarebush lost 5 yards on a 3rd and short. He immediately was met by Josh Farnsey in the backfield, the 5th tackle for loss for the Legion tonight, and Louisiana starts the 3rd quarter with a punt.
Just a great job by the Legion defense to just get into the backfield, and unfortunately Randy Squarebush just got beat to the hole and was running the wrong way, and results here in a punt.
On the return for Blackwell up to the 23-yard line. And that's where Christian Brown will start his next possession. Louisiana now 3 for 8 on 3rd down tonight. Vancouver 4 for 8. Vancouver's offense, 15 plays in the first quarter, 15 plays in the second quarter. We'll see what they can churn out here. 1st and 10 at the 23. Brown steps up, and as he threw, pass caught by Chris Curtis. Beautiful route to the 37-yard line. 4 catches now for 74 yards for number 84. And Vancouver moves the chains.
Vancouver is just playing a little bit different second half. They were just a little passive in the first half, but they're coming out in the second half just absolutely swinging on this defense and looking like the offense is kind of figured out here, kind of figured out the Louisiana defense. So let's see what Christian Brown and company is going to do on 1st and 10.
From the 37, this is a deep shot from Brown. The pass is caught by Curtis to the Louisiana 42-yard line. I don't know how he brought that one in, but it's another Legion 1st down, and this has been the Revolution pass defense we've seen over the first 5 weeks, just giving up plays down the field. Bennett with a big hit.
And Curtis was just in a sea of green defenders, and to come down with that catch, he's showing why he's a 4-time All-Star in the SFL.
Curtis up to 94 yards on 5 receptions. Out to Robert Redford. Redford makes a spin, and then Bennett knocks him down. 2nd and 5. This Legion team in the second half has played a perfect half. It's almost a mirror image of what we had last week, Paul, with Atlanta just dominating the 3rd quarter. Vancouver so far has dominated the 3rd, but they've done it with their offense, not their defense. Nice tackle for loss in the backfield for the Revs. That's Chance Wall. Will set up a 3rd and 6.
And this week, a little different than last week, a lot less interceptions thrown, but similar feeling as you mentioned, and excited to see if Vancouver's going to be able to convert this 3rd and 6 or not.
Brown steps up in the pocket, fires down the field, intercepted, and that's a broadcaster jinx, going back the other way. 50, 40, 30, down the sideline. It is caught by Redford at the 2-yard line. Even Arthur with the near pick 6. That would have set a new SFL record, but instead he's down to the 2-yard line.
What an incredible job there to be able to read the quarterback and to pick off the quarterback and return it back for, wow, it's just Robert Redford, great job to him catching up and being able to get him down on the 2-yard line. Just, wow, what an incredible play there. And this puts Louisiana in a prime position to even things up.
Arthur with 7 pick 6s on his career would have tied teammate Rolliman Hood and Florida's Ryan Davidson and Evan Carroll for the top of the record books, but he's brought down 2 yards short by Redford, and Squarebush picks up 1. Now it's 2nd and goal. Papatonis on the tackle.
It's just crazy to see how the momentum has just been flipped the total other way, and Louisiana, we're going to see here a touchdown.
A walk-in. Cameron Collier were 1 point away from a tie.
Woo-hoo! This is what dreams are made of. It's Impact Monday. All these players making impacts all over the field, and we're an extra point away from a tie ball game.
Man, Evan Carroll or Evan Arthur. I mean, it just, I thought after that one player dove for him and missed, thought he was gone. Heck of an effort by Redford to save the touchdown, but unfortunately not enough for the Legion.
Just an incredible play by a big-time player.
Boudreaux's extra point is good. 4:24 to go in the third. And do I dare say it, Paul, I think this has been the best Monday night game of the season so far. Tie ball game.
It's about time, Cam. It's about time we get a close one, and I hope for the whole community and all the viewers and for us in the booth, I hope to see an exciting finish to this one.
Blackwell from his goal line on the return. We'll see how Christian Brown shakes off that pick six. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation through your viewership. First and 10 of the 22. Vancouver goes back to the ground game. Robert Redford shakes off a couple to pick up 7, up to 91 rushing yards, 51 on that touchdown run.
7 yards per carry for Redford. I know he broke that long one earlier, but he's just an incredible running back with his athleticism and speed, as we saw as he chasing the defender down with a touchdown saving tackle. Just Robert Redford playing great so far tonight.
2nd down and 3 at the 29. Handoff, Redford gets the first down at the 33. Now, Vancouver's big challenge, Paul, is that they just need to not let things spiral out of control. We're in a tie ball game. Their offense has been pretty efficient.
Yeah, just stick to the game plan. They practiced for Louisiana all week. You just got to stick to the game plan and come in and do what you came to do.
The pass out to Redford will bring up a 2nd down and 10. Both these teams were off last week, so we've seen 2 weeks of preparation for this one, just like we did last week with Atlanta and Sioux Falls. 2nd and 10 at the 34 coming up. Brown's pass outside. That is Walters for the 4-yard pickup. 3rd and 6 coming up. Next week, Paul, we head to our nation's capital. D.C. hosts Arizona. Next week is the Scorpions at 5-1, trying to keep pace. D.C. backs against the wall at 2-4. Not the start they'd hoped for, but you know the Dragons are going to give it their all. Another great Impact Monday spectacular game coming up next week. Same time, same place.
I'm excited for that one as well. 2 incredible teams. I know DC, I believe they're a little better than their record may show, but next week's Impact Monday, man, it's going to be another great game, as we're seeing here tonight.
Blake Craze wraps up Redford, so that's going to be a Vancouver punt, and this third quarter that started so hot for the Legion is going backwards just a bit. Week 9, we go across the pond. I've always wanted to go to London, Paul. London hosts Fort Worth, and after Fort Worth got that big upset over Baltimore this weekend, that Fort Worth-London game should be excellent in a couple of weeks as well.
Nothing but great matchups on Impact Monday Spectaculars. Nothing but spectacular matchups.
Now, Week 10, Paul, we're going to have to, I think we're going to get a little flex action. LA is scheduled to be at Vancouver, so we're going to have to think about it. Houston plays Canton, London, Motor City, Florida, Jacksonville, Alamo City, Queen City, Mexico City, Fort Worth. That's a doozy. Denver, D.C., San Diego at Baltimore. That's interesting. Vegas, Charleston, Carolina at Arizona. Ooh, I smell Skyhawks in prime time again. As Utah's pass is hauled in, that's Lease for a first down. Sioux Falls also visits Indianapolis in Week 10. Back to Week 7 action as I daydream here. Louisiana's got the first down.
Louisiana, they're kind of creeping up on this Legion defense. Is this Legion defense going to be able to hang in there and stay strong in the second half, or has this Revolution kind of worn this Legion defense down so far through 3 quarters of play?
Utah dropping deep, and we'll check it down to Squarebush. Squarebush pulls over 1, picks up 6 to the Louisiana 48-yard line as we near the end of the third quarter. Just as a programming note, remember from the original schedule that was released in January that next week we have 4 Friday night games, no games on Sunday next weekend. Go outside as we hit close to springtime. 2nd and 4th, Louisiana 48. The handoff goes to Squarebush, and he's met right at the line of scrimmage. Farnsey with the stop to set up a 3rd and 4.
And Louisiana so far in this game has been fairly successful on 3rd and short and even 3rd and long, as we've seen numerous times throughout the game. But Vancouver, they're the number 1 defense for a reason, right? Let's see what this defense is going to do here.
Both teams have had 46 offensive plays in this game. 3 wide on 3rd and 4 for Louisiana. Utah, 7-step drop. Utah sacked in the backfield. Oh, man, this D-line is scary good. And it's Brown again, his 2nd sack.
Charlie Brown, he is letting Tommy Utah know for a 2nd time after a big hit on the quarterback. Just a little vocal with some things to say, so I don't know if there's a little bit of beef between the two, but wow, what a play by Charlie Brown.
End of the third quarter. We promise we won't pull the football out from under you as we start the 4th. Legion 13, Revs 13. Curtis will tell you what our rights are.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
4s, 12s, 86s, and 68s in the chat. Especially the 68 for Leonard Butler Sr., who Louisiana lost last season. Rich Pratchard, the 86 on that list that Vancouver lost a couple years ago. 2 teams with plenty of history, heavy hearts, despite being always in different divisions and on different parts of the world sometimes it feels like. But I don't know what it is about when Vancouver and Louisiana get together, Paul, but it's been a great one once again.
Always fun when these 2 teams meet up. And both teams giving us another classic game here tonight on Impact Monday. We got a tie ball game here in the 4th quarter. Vancouver looking to possibly take this lead back from Louisiana.
Brown over the middle. That pass is complete to the Vancouver 37-yard line, and finally able to connect with Walters down the field. They've tried him a couple of times. Vancouver gets a first down.
And James Walters is a prime target for Christian Brown with this in this Vancouver offense. He's having a pretty impressive season so far, as he has before, and I'm glad that he's able to get on the board here and make an impact and trying to help his team secure victory.
If Brown put that over the other shoulder, that may have been an interception. Perfect pass from Brown. And low-key, we've had just 11 incompletions in this game. Both quarterbacks have been great. Brown 22 for 27 and Utah 18 of 24. We've had 3 picks. They have been costly, but it's been a pretty well-played football game tonight as Vancouver has a 2nd and 6. And off to Redford, and another 3rd down coming up. Nice ankle tackle by Wall.
And it doesn't seem like these quarterbacks, it seems like they've thrown so many more incompletions. I guess it must be the 3 interceptions that they did throw. But as you mentioned, both quarterbacks are playing extremely well. But to me, it just seems like the points, there's not points on the board to kind of back that up.
A backwards pass to Redford, and Redford still gets the first down. Nobody was home on the right side of that Louisiana defense, and Vancouver gets a first down into Revolution territory.
Christian Brown moving up into the pocket a little bit just to throw it backwards to his running back. Has all faith in Robert Redford to help move the chains and move into Louisiana territory.
Redford's up to an even 100 on the ground. Now 10 catches for 34 yards. Vancouver starting to put together a drive with 9 minutes to go in the fourth. A tie game at 13. Brown's out of the shotgun with 2 receivers to his right. Brown quickly over the middle of that pass, hauled in by Walters. Gets 9 to the Louisiana 38.
Walters having a much more active second half. Able to get a second and short situation here for the Legion.
Squarebush has not done much recently. 14 carries for 32 yards. And in this second half, as Redford gets the first down, Squarebush just 5 carries for 3 yards. Vancouver's tied right now, but they definitely feel like outside of that 1 interception, they have had all the momentum here in the second half.
Yeah, second half, I know we are tied up, but ever since they came out of the locker room, they've been just full force, and to me, the momentum has been mainly Vancouver dominated here in the second half.
8 minutes left. Handoff, double R. Picks up 3. And wrapping him up on the end of the play was Rolliman Hood. Hood's been a little quiet tonight, his 3rd tackle. They really haven't looked his direction much either, and it will set up a 2nd and 7. Seven and a half left. Brown dumps it off Redford, 11th catch of the night. And Dante Grimm shuts that down to force another 3rd down. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. 2 receivers off the left side now for Brown. And Brown stepping up and across his body finds Curtis to the 17-yard line with 7 minutes left. Man, that was a heck of a pirouette from Brown in the pocket.
Oh, boy, and I thought he was definitely coming down there, but a little wobbly throw there, but right on the money for Curtis as they move the chains. They're now in the red zone, and Louisiana Revolution defense is kind of on their toes a little bit, just trying to prevent the Legion from scoring and taking the lead.
No challenge. I'm actually a little surprised. It looked like there may have been a control issue with the feet on the sideline. Redford gets 6 to the 10 as the clock continues to bleed here in this second half.
Mike Ryan with a vicious hit on Redford, as we're going to see Redford on the sidelines there taking a little break, but after that hit, but this Legion offense is looking pretty impressive on this drive.
2nd and 4 at the 10. Handoff to the backup. Redford exhausted as we hit the 11th play of the drive. On the carry was Myron Jackson Jr. Another 3rd down upcoming.
And we see Redford still not on the field again for this 3rd and 3 for the Legion. Let's see what they do.
Brown going to throw it to Jackson, a rainbow ball that's going to be short of the first down. Louisiana's defense has been on the field almost this entire second half, and they still were able to hold Vancouver to a field goal. Exceptional job by the Revs.
Incredible job by Louisiana. We've seen their red zone defense hold all game long. limiting the Vancouver offense to only 13 points so far, and just a truly incredible job by this Revolution defense on this drive.
A 13-play drive for Vancouver results in a 25-yard field goal, and that kick is good. So 16-13, points at a premium in this back-and-forth game. Vancouver now has the 3-point advantage. And crazy stat here, in the second half, the entire second half, Louisiana's offense has been on the field for 11 plays. 11 in the whole half.
Just Vancouver has just been dominating this second half in the time of possession, just not giving the Revolution offense a chance to even score.
Hammer breaks 2 tackles. Hammer gets to the 27. I was just about to say, get ready, defense. You're going to be out there again. Hammer's best return of the night with 5 minutes left.
William Hammer just throwing defenders off of him, throwing 2 different Legion defenders off of him, getting solid field position here. And Louisiana offense finally back on the field, and Tommy Utah and company looking to answer the field goal by the Legion.
Utah 18 of 24, $194 tonight. Utah drops to throw, a 7-step drop going long. It is caught by Da Vinci down to the 27-yard line. What a bomb from Tommy U.
Wow, Cam, what an absolute shot by Tommy Utah here, converting on just a deep bomb to Da Vinci, just wide open, beating the defender, bringing the ball within the Legion 30. Just an incredible time to take a deep shot, and this Revolution offense refuses to give up.
Major Key saves the touchdown, and if Louisiana is only able to get a field goal at the end of the drive, it'll be Major Key getting a potential game ball at the end from the locker room. 4:25 to go in the fourth. 1st and 10 to the 27. Utah fires down the field. Caught! Da Vinci touchdown! Lyric Da Vinci spitting lines all night tonight gives Louisiana the lead.
Lyric Da Vinci shooting out of the cannon here. 2 plays. That's 73 yards, 2 catches, and a touchdown as Louisiana takes the lead from Vancouver. And just Tommy Utah finding Da Vinci twice. 2 incredible passes, 2 incredible catches. This is what you live to see in the SFL on Impact Monday.
What an answer from Lyric Da Vinci. And this Revs offense that has been pretty contained most of the night. 2 monster plays for the Revs in the second half now have them up 20-16.
Just momentum has shifted just from that one drive alone. Vancouver dominating the second half up until 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, and 2 plays has totally shifted the game in Louisiana's favor.
Da Vinci 157 on 5 catches, an average of 30 yards a catch. Blackwell to the 21, and Vancouver's got to fight back again.
This Vancouver offense has shown they are extremely resilient, and just like the Louisiana offense, they just refuse to go away. And I know we haven't seen a whole lot of points in this game, but sparks are flying here late in the fourth quarter, Cam.
1st and 10 of the 21. Christian Brown, just 5 incompletions all night, has played a near-perfect football game as the pass hauled in by Huxley will get the no-huddle offense moving. Brown out to the open Redford. Good read. Robert Redford is pushed out of bounds after a 4-yard pickup and then runs into a teammate on the sideline who goes head first.
And I like Vancouver's approach there. Again, after being on the field for a good majority of the second half, trying to take advantage of a tired Revolution defense there with that fast-paced offense.
Brown to throw. Oh, he got nailed!
Got it.
Brett Killian with the catch to the 49. Wow. Brown took a huge hit in the backfield.
To just stay in the pocket like that, to know you're going to get absolutely leveled in the backfield, to putting it right on the money to your receiver. Just a great job by Christian Brown and a great catch by Brett Killian to move the chains and try to answer this Louisiana touchdown that they just scored.
30 for 35 for Brown. 1st and 10 of the 49. Out to Redford. Caught again. Redford 45 got a block. Out past the 40 to the 36-yard line. Vancouver putting together a perfect drive of their own.
An absolute incredible block there by number 75, Stone Wall, showing why he is a stone wall there, sending 2 defenders flying and helping Redford secure another first down.
Killian with 4 catches tonight. Needs 1 more for 1,000 on his career. And that pass is hauled in past the 30 by Blackwell to the Louisiana 28.
Everybody getting involved on this drive for Vancouver. Not a whole lot of time left, but you don't want to leave too much time on the clock for this Louisiana offense. As we just saw last drive, they can score at the snap of a finger after 2 great plays from the offense. But Vancouver here is rolling.
Redford dropped in the backfield, but Christian Brown, 18 of 19 passing in the second half. The one incompletion was the interception that Arthur nearly took all the way back to the house. That is his lone blemish. 3rd down and 3 for Vancouver. They're 6 of 13 on 3rd down tonight. Brown going to throw. Brown outside, caught first down. Killian to the 21, and that's career reception. 1,000 for Brett.
Wow. What an incredible milestone for Brett Killian. 1,000 receptions in his SFL career is just an incredible feat. Congratulations to Brett Killian. And what would make it even sweeter would be a Vancouver touchdown for Brett Killian and taking the lead back for Vancouver.
Handoff, Redford 15 down to the 13-yard line to the 12. 9-yard gain. 2-minute warning. Don't go anywhere or you're just a fool. You're watching Impact Mondays Spectacular on YouTube. Brett Killian now 4th all-time, passing Optimus Klein on the leaderboard. They continue to go back and forth. 2nd down and 1 of the Louisiana 12. Handoff, Redford, 1st down, 5! First down, touchdown!
Touchdown!
Woo! Double R puts Vancouver back up in the lead.
Robert Redford, just an incredible spin move, making the defender miss and just refusing and not taking anything less than a touchdown for an answer. Just, this is an incredible game being played by both of these teams, offenses and defense. This is just an incredible sight to see, Cam.
You give me good football, you will hype me up every week. You give me a snooze fest, I'll go Al Michaels on you. And this has been a tremendous game. Robert Redford, 142 yards on 23 carries, 2 touchdowns. He's chipped in 48 yards through the air, and back and forth we go here in the 4th quarter. Vancouver leaves Louisiana with 1:55 left and all 3 timeouts.
And the momentum pendulum has been swinging back and forth all 4th quarter long. It just, both teams just finding answers for everything here. The defense needs an interception, you're getting an interception. You're getting a red zone stop. And when your offense needs to show up, they're showing up and putting points on the board. We got 1:55 left in a great game here, Cam.
Hammer on the return out to the 25. Tommy Utah gets another shot. What are we going to see next?
At this rate, I'm I'm expecting to see absolutely anything because this whole fourth quarter has just been incredibly exciting for everyone. And we see Tommy Utah. He seems poised and ready to try to make his impact tonight.
Utah deep down the middle. It is incomplete. Da Vinci almost snagged it off the deflection. Wow.
After getting them deep last drive, look, Tommy Utah not afraid to take that shot to Lyric Da Vinci again. And Tommy Utah, I'm sure, is extremely thankful that that pass was not intercepted. And you have another opportunity here to help your team secure a victory.
Nickel look for Vancouver. 4 wide receivers. Play action from Utah. Fires down the field and pass is caught by Hammer to the 36-yard line. We didn't see that all night long. Actually, that's Da Vinci with yet another catch. The fullback Collier is outside. 1st and 10 with a minute and a half to go. Same play. Utah deep down the field. Caught!
Oh.
Caught this time by Collier, the fullback, the Vancouver 47-yard line.
Put your seatbelts on, folks. We're in for a real treat here to finish off this Impact Monday spectacular game with Vancouver and Louisiana.
Collier's first catch of the game. 1:08 to go. Still all 3 timeouts for Louisiana. Utah out of the shotgun, down the middle of the field. That pass is way overthrown, but at least out of the way of Legion defenders. That stops the clock with 1:01 to go.
Vancouver Legion defense just trying to get one last stop to hold on to this game and go home with a W in the win column.
A minute left. Utah fires, caught by Suddeth. Just short of a first down. So
down.
You got to get the first down before you can worry about anything else. 3rd and inches at the 37. Utah going to throw that pass caught by Suddeth in the field goal range. 45 seconds. A touchdown wins it. Field goals ties it at the Vancouver 26-yard line. Utah quickly up to the line. 37-36. Lopez gets set. Utah back to pass. Fires outside. Caught. Tackle made in bounds. 32 seconds. And they're still going. Still haven't used any of their timeouts.
Oh boy.
23 seconds. Utah pump fake. Utah's pass is knocked away. Looking for Da Vinci. That was a brilliant job by Utah. Nearly took a sack. Hamilton swats it down. 20 seconds on the clock.
Probably the best outcome for that play for Louisiana to kind of regroup and kind of refocus. It's 3rd and 7. You're only 23 yards away from scoring. You're in field goal range. Just take it slow and just play smart here.
5 wide. Utah's out of the shotgun. Utah go to the end zone. The
Takes a
pass
shot.
is caught at the 1-yard line by Liam Hammer. That's why you pick him up in the offseason.
Oh my, Liam Hammer. Quiet first half, but with this 3rd or 4th reception here in the second half, and what an incredible catch there on the 1-yard line to set your team up with 16 seconds left with a chance to steal a win at home against Vancouver.
16 on the clock. Ball's at the 1-yard line. 3 in the backfield. Utah under center. Hands it off. Square bush, and he's got it for a walk-in touchdown. Louisiana back in front.
This game is just incredible. Randy Squarebush with the answer to Vancouver with a touchdown late in the game. Randy Squarebush taking the lead back from Vancouver. This is just incredible to be watching right now.
Call the cops. Mike Ryan just murdered the Louisiana bench on the sideline. They're going to have to replace that piece of furniture. Totally, feel bad for the neighbors. 13 seconds, and the extra point for Boudreau is good. That means that Vancouver now needs a touchdown. What an incredible fourth quarter. Back and forth we go. The Over still is not hit. 1.5 points away. Louisiana 3.5 point dogs. And they're proving Jack's data wrong tonight for now.
Let's see what Justice Blackwell can do here on this return.
Blackwell on the return. Past the 20. Well, no, not even past the 20. Wow, Louisiana all over that. That's Hammer and Bennett combining for the stop. 9 seconds to go in the fourth. Vancouver does have all of their timeouts. Their longest pass of the night is 27 yards. That's to Chris Curtis. They have not gone deep much.
They're going to need 80 yards here with 9 seconds left. So still a little bit of time. You can still make something happen with 3 timeouts. Let's see what they're going to do here.
Brown to throw over the middle. That pass is batted up in the air and incomplete. Now they're in real trouble.
Yeah, it's looking like the last play possibly here. And you got one shot to throw it deep and throw up a Hail Mary. And let's see if their prayers are going to be answered here.
Louisiana would seriously have to botch this at this point. 80 yards away. Vancouver could maybe get 2 plays if they get out of bounds quickly. Redford's in the backfield. Brown to throw, going long. That pass is caught by Blackwell. Blackwell breaks a tackle, then he's cut down. Ball game, Louisiana takes the win at home. What a ball game. Revolution 4-2, and Portland's back in front of the Pacific.
Just what an incredible game all around. An extremely exciting second half. A little lackluster, exciting first half, but boy, both of these teams just refuse to give up and just answering back and forth as we see Robert Redford just trying to beating defenders. Just you got Randy Squarebush throwing people off of him. Just an extremely exciting game from both teams, incredibly fought. Just wow, Cam, I'm speechless right now.
Either Chris Curtis's camera is frozen behind the scenes, or he is so dumbfounded that he hasn't moved in about 15 seconds. Louisiana, what a crucial victory as Tyler and Curtis stand by in the studios. But just an incredible victory for the Revolution, who desperately needed it. That means that going into Week 7, at least one 4-2 team is going to be on the outside looking into the playoffs.
Both teams were extremely win hungry here, and we could clearly see how bad both of these teams wanted to win. Just for Louisiana, just had a little bit of an upper hand. Incredible drive by Tommy Utah there at the end, and just an incredible game all around from both of these teams.
Week 7 delivered, Paul, not only on Monday night, but around the SFL. It was a fantastic week of football, and we can't wait to join everybody starting on Friday with this Vancouver Legion team in Florida. How about that to start the week, Paul Sarp? On Friday night, you got the 3-3 Legion and the 2-4 Storm. Both are going to be pretty desperate. Yeah, it's going to be great. Lyric Da Vinci's your player of the game. He was masterful. 7 catches, 168 yards, and 1 touchdown. Louisiana pulls it out at home, 27-23. Now we send it back to SFL Studios with Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis to break this one all down. Fellas, take it away.
Here we are on the APM Music post-game. No, I'm kidding. Guys, welcome in to the APM Music post-game wrap-up. It is Chris Curtis and Tyler Falcon. Tyler's celebrating. I am in my feels right now. A heartbreaking loss on the road for Vancouver. An absolute season-raising, potentially, win for the Revs. And Tyler, let's break it down a little bit here. The touchdown for the Legion leaves essentially too much time on the clock and the Revs come through in the 2-minute drill.
And yes, we are a little biased tonight. Yes, you're in your Vancouver, and I've got to support the Legion. But honestly, what a great game, both for both fan bases and from a neutral standpoint. This by far the best Monday night game of the lot to this point. Paulie and Cam did an excellent job on the call. Cam always brings the enthusiasm, and we got ourselves a ball game. Lyric Da Vinci right after the longest drive of the ball game from Vancouver, which side you guys go up. It looked like what is Louisiana going to have to do? Lyric Da Vinci says, I'm just going to be painting 2 nice, pretty pictures here, and I'll get you right back in front. But it's not over yet because that's how good Vancouver is. We never underestimate you guys, and just likewise, you guys never underestimated us. Hats off to you guys. Hats off to Andy and Percoco and Brett Killian. Huge congratulations to Killian as well. 1,000 receptions in his illustrious career. But at the end of the day, only one team can come home with a W, and it was the glorious Louisiana Revolution. Hashtag Rev Up. Revs now will stay above 500.
I like it. So yeah, Killian gets to 1,000. Lyric Da Vinci has a nice little Bob Ross moment with the happy paintings he painted in the fourth quarter, and it ends up being a heroic night for the Revs. They get up to 4-2. Vancouver drops to 3-3 and keeps Portland up in the Pacific Division, at least at the moment. Let's talk about the Pacific Division real quick, because Portland, in a spot that's unfamiliar to them, not taking anything away from them, have had a great season so far. They also have a head-to-head victory over Vancouver. Do they have the staying power, not only in that division, but to potentially make a run come playoff time?
Well, this is going to be a very interesting division now, with the couple of slip-ups from Vancouver, and with Portland staying pretty solid at this point, all things considered. And then you look at Seattle, maybe a dark horse. I don't think they will directly challenge Portland and Vancouver. I still think it's a 2-horse race in the Pacific. But it's gonna be a fun division to watch. It has gotten quietly interesting. It will be telling if Portland can keep the momentum to compete directly with Vancouver this season. It will tell us how much they have grown since their inception. Portland has had not the best start to their life in the SFL. It's taken them this many years to be considered a contender. Since they came into the league. So this is great for Portland. For Vancouver, you got another target on your back. Watch out.
You know what, though? I mean, Vancouver can rise. They still have a lot of games left in the schedule. So, I mean, there's a lot of football left to be played. That's all fine and good. Your Revs, how are you guys feeling right now going into the remainder of the season? A little bit at the halfway point now. Do you guys, what's your guys' staying power going forward?
Well, right now we have to keep an eye on Florida behind us, because as we all well know, any little slip-ups in Florida is going to come right back after you. They're coming for my head respectively, and with full intensity at this point. But right now, tonight feels good. We need to eliminate a few more mistakes, but we eliminated our mistakes from last week against Florida, which is saying something, which is really good for us. We're feeling, at least I'm feeling pretty good. I think the rest of the club is feeling pretty happy right now with how we came out with the victory tonight. But it's always the next one. It's always the next one we have to worry about, and we're always game planning for. We never overlook at everybody, and we always take everybody seriously.
Has to be about the next one, no doubt about that one. And ultimately, you keep looking backwards at Florida, because you had some things to say a couple weeks ago. You said they were done, and now you're looking in the rearview mirror at them. So we'll see how that goes.
Are closer than they appear.
I like it. That said, Vancouver goes into Stack Up Stadium and walks away a loser today to the Louisiana Revolution. They go down to 3-3, Louisiana to 4-2, and that caps off the best Impact Monday we've had so far in season 20. We will see you on Friday night for the next week of action in the SFL. As the schedules may have changed, check your locker rooms. And we will see you guys then for more Simulation Football League action. For Tyler Falk, I'm Chris Curtis. For everybody at the SFL, we will see you in 5 days' time. Have a good one and enjoy a celebratory whipped creaming to Louisiana on me.